All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. John 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them your eternal life, and they which testify of me. And you would not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there's one that accused you, even Moses, of whom you trust. I believe Moses, you will believe me for wrote me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Hey, give me Psalms 88 and 1, bro.
Oh, well, Elohim of my salvation, I have tried day and night before my prayer come before you. Incline your ear unto my cry. For my soul
My bad, shalom, nigga. I'm used to Jay coming first. What's happening, so?
For my soul is full of troubles, and my life draw near unto the grave. I'm counted with them that go down into the pit. I am as a man, no strength. Free among the dead, the slain that lie in the grave.
Free among the who?
Among the dead.
Like the who?
The slain that lie in the grave.
Go ahead.
Whom you remember no more, and they are cut off from your hand.
Mm-hmm.
You have laid me in the lowest pit, in darkness and the deeps. Your wrath lie hard upon me. Mm-hmm. You have afflicted with all your ways. Mm-hmm. You have put my acquaintance far from me. You have made me an abomination unto them. Mm-hmm. Shut up, and I cannot come forth. My eye mourn by reason of affliction. The war I have called daily upon you. I have stretched out my hands unto you. Will you show wonders to the dead? Shall the dead arise and praise you, Selah? Shall your
everything good, GP?
Be declared in the grave, where your faithfulness and destruction? Shall your wonders be known in the dark, and your righteousness in the land of forgetfulness? And unto you have I cried on
peace, brother Dave.
And in the morning shall my prayer prevent you.
All right, I'm finna read this Psalm 45 and 1, and then I'm finna tell y'all something. Because we might got 3-4 different things we might try to look at, because boy, niggas dumb as a box of rocks. If you man, look at it. My heart is in Psalms 45 and 1. My heart is inditing a good matter. I speak of things which I've made touching the king. My tongue, the pen of a ready writer. You are fairer than the sons of Adam. Grace is poured into your lips. Therefore, Elohim have baruched you forever. Put up your sword upon thigh, Almighty, with your esteem and your majesty. Shalom, Brother Martin. And in your majesty rise, he said, prosperously because of truth, meekness, righteousness, and your right hand shall teach terrible things. Shalom. So check it. I want you to read me Psalms 88 and 5 again. See, we got to talk about poverty. And then it came into my mind about dealing with what we've been talking about rehearsing the righteous acts or retelling the acts of Yahuwah in the aspect of something we discussed, which is dwelling your wife according to knowledge and what that means and what that looks like. But then we had a conversation with some gentlemen this afternoon. And the conversation, I've seen this conversation 4 times today. His conversation was, can we live without sin? And then they came back and said, can we be without sin before receiving our glorified bodies? And then 2 other people did it. Well, it was in that, and then somebody else did it. But in all these conversations, it descended into debates about nothing. But in the one conversation, shalom, champ, the one conversation we had that didn't come into that was niggas justifying that you always gonna sin. And see, I'm gonna point out the things that niggas point out to say that you always gonna sin. And in the conversation we had earlier, they kept mentioning unintentional sin. And when you ask somebody, what is an unintentional sin? Ain't nobody got no answer. And the thing that pissed me off, and the dog Bleedo said something, and it's referenced in the text, it was you speaking like, nigga don't realize, man, when you tell people, man, you always gonna commit sin. I told you this before, but you speaking death on me, cuz. You speaking death on me, cuz. Shalom, Sister Kelly. Man, we not on that, man. Why would you tell somebody you always gonna die? And that just agitated me, man. Repeatedly making a justification for being evil. Grown men saying, you don't know how long it's going to take. Man, if you in the word for 10 years, man, and you still got a problem with your flesh, man, go on out here and live your life, man, because you playing. It don't take 10 years, man. 10 years? Come on, man. Come on, man. That's not what you want. You don't want it bad enough. Because when you move like that, you moving like, Shalom, Jay, you moving like you know you're going to be here tomorrow. Who told you was going to be alive tomorrow? Who gave you insight that you was going to live to see tomorrow? Who told you that? Ain't nobody told you that. You know how I know ain't nobody told you that? Proverbs 27:1. Ain't nobody told you that.
Boast not yourself of tomorrow, for you know not what a day may bring forward.
You don't know what a day gonna bring forth. Read Matthew 5. You can pick it up at 40. Tell me what it say. So long, brother.
Saying if any man will sue you at the law,
drop down even more. 46. I ain't got time to wait.
For if you love them which love you, what reward have you? Do not even the publicans the same? If you salute your brother, and only what do you more than others? Do not even the publicans so? Be you therefore perfect, even as your Abba which is in Shamayim is perfect.
Now it's funny that these people kept saying ain't nobody perfect. But this man telling you this, and I've told you this again before. We talked about it when we were looking at Jacob the other day. That means to have integrity and to be pure. Paul, John 15:1. How you not? If you clean, nigga, you're perfect. But see, I also want to focus on the aspect of being free, because when people talking to you about sin, they telling you that you're going to be locked up, that you always going to be in chains. What did we talk about Wednesday? The difference between the children of the free woman and the children of the bond woman. When you stay in your flesh, you always going to be the child of the bond woman. Man, you can't inherit, cuz. Man, you better look at, man, that junk agitates me to no end. Yeah, the boy definitely say, man, I'm free, cuz I ain't in jail. You want to be in jail? You be in jail, nigga. And you have to stop accepting that junk pisses me off. And it pisses me off for no other reason than you sinning. And they're, look here, right? They've been pushing something, I guess, because I don't be listening to all these dudes, that the Lord sinned. And I told my dog, B8, man, when he mentioned that he heard a dude say that, they say that because if he sinned, then they know they're not going to hell. See, hold on, I'm going to show you what I mean. Read that, what I and then come over here to John 15. My son for these niggas tonight. I promise I do.
John 15:1.
Come on, John 15:1.
Say, I'm the true vine, and my Abba is the husbandman. Every branch of me that bear not fruit, he take away. And every that bear fruit, he purge it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now you are clean through the word which I've spoken unto you.
You clean from what?
Through the word which I've spoken unto you.
If the word ain't gonna make you clean, then you ain't never gonna be clean. See, they kept dealing with the fact of it's always a fight. You know what I'm saying? And that's all good. See, I told them something, right? When you a babe in the word, you're gonna have a little bit more fight in your flesh as it pertains to dealing with your ungodly desires. Once you start maturing in the word, then you're gonna have a deal with your flesh about fighting unbelief. When you're dealing with certain situations and circumstances in your life, or maintaining godly character in your dealings with people. You won't be around here lusting in your loins. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna want to hang out and do all this or other stuff, or be a drunk or get high. That stuff, they're gonna pass away. You know what I'm saying? And I told them earlier, my personal perspective is that the law is very easy to do once you've conquered your flesh. But the faith aspect, that is what is difficult for people. You know what I'm talking about? Because you're holding to a promise that you cannot see. You're laboring to a promise that you cannot see. You're serving God whom you've never laid eyes on. And that is what is difficult for most people. You know what I'm talking about? Most people, they focus on the fleshly aspect because the people who are going to be able to focus on. Remember, the Lord told the world you'll have tribulation, be of good cheer. I've overcome the world. He wasn't talking to the people about their flesh. Paul talking to them people in them letters about struggling with their flesh because they knew converts. They knew converts. Of course they gonna have that. This the first thing this man screamed was, you saying it ain't no advocate. Ain't nobody said that. You said that. You inferred that. Man, you got people trying to make 1 John 3:9 mean something different than what it say. This man say, whosoever is born of God do not commit sin. He cannot sin. His seed remain in him because he's born of God. Niggas say, nah, that's not what that means. I say, man, if we ain't going to be from sin, what's the point? What's the point? Do you not know that in Isaiah 59:1, this man says, he said, Yahuwah's arm is not shortened that it cannot save, nor is his ear heavy that he cannot hear. It's your sins that have separated you from your God, that he will not save and that he will not hear. These dudes scream all this New Testament stuff, and the New Testament don't support nothing they saying. Man, if you let somebody convince you that you always gonna sin and you always gonna be a sinner, it's because that's what you want to do. I don't care what you say. I don't care how you try to spin it. It's because that's what you, there's no such thing as an unintentional. See, this is an unintentional sin. You went to your grandma's house and she had a pot of beans and she slid some ham in there and you didn't know it and you ate it. That's an unintentional sin. Who are not going to condemn you for that? But you knew that was that man's wife and you knocked her down. You didn't unintentionally fall in her vagina. You knew full well what you were doing. You knew full well what you were doing, and we got booked for that. I'm running it all down. I'm just setting it up. These niggas piss me off because you killing people. We do not believe in any form of bondage. Get free. We just literally been talking about free among the dead for a month. No debts, no obligations. That man paid the debt. He paid the tax to set you free. You out on bail. You should be feeling just like Pac did on the beginning of California Love. Fresh on bail, you're free. I'm free. I was locked up. This man bonded me out. All I got to do is maintain the rules and I won't go back. These niggas trying to keep you locked up and you love it. That's insane to me. Read me John 15:24, man. Make it 20. 19, matter of fact.
So if you were of the world would love his own, but because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hates you.
Peace, die.
Remember that word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. They persecuted me, they also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also.
They will keep yours also.
But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they don't
know God.
If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had
If
sin.
I had not came and spoken unto them, they had not had what?
Sin.
But now
they have no cloak for their sin.
Now they have no cloak for their sin. Go ahead.
He that hate me, hate my Abba also.
Go ahead.
If I had not done among them the works which none
if
other
I
man
had
did,
not done among them the works that none other man did, they would what?
They had not had sin.
They would have not had sin.
But now have they both seen and hated both me and my Abba.
Go back and tell them what cloak means. Man, you know we had a grown man say that if proof positive you a sinner, even if you repented and lived under God. Do you know that these people, I'm going to tell you something that most people come up with, man, to justify being a sinner. See, if you were, this is what they were arguing just before I came on here. See, if you ejaculate, brother, you unclean, so therefore you sin. See, that's what they come up with. See, this is what the Lord was talking about when he said they put burdens on people. Shalom, Emma. They putting burdens on people, man. Many people crazy out here, man. Tell them what cloak mean, man.
That's prophasis. It's a pretext, a show, cloak, color, pretense, or show.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
You got a pretext, alleged reason, a pretended cause, a show under color as though they would do something, and pretense, ostensibly, or a cloak.
You know what a cloak is? That's a cover. Come over here to Genesis chapter 3. Read me Genesis 3. Give me verse 15. Is it 15 that I want? Nah, give me 20. Hold on, said. Hold on, let me see this. Say you was reading John the other night. It said, we finna read it right now. We finna get ready to read that right now and contest what I'm talking about. Come on.
And Adam called his wife's name Eve because she was the mother of all living. Unto Adam also and to his wife that Yahuwah he made coats of skins. And
made him what?
Coats of skins and clothed them.
He made them coats of skins and did what?
And clothed them.
So that means he made a cover for their sin because nobody had ever came and did the works that he did. Now that cloak that he put on Adam, that's gone. You know why it's gone? John 9:39.
Yahushua said, for judgment I come into this world.
For what I come into this world?
For judgment.
What else?
That they which see not might see, and that they which see might be made blind.
Now y'all already know what this means because we done went over it, but we finna lay it on the table again. Go ahead.
And of the Pharisees which were with him heard these words and said unto him, are we blind also?
Are we blind also?
Yahushua said unto them, if you were blind, you should have no sin.
If you were blind, you should have no what?
No sin.
But
now you say we see.
Therefore,
your sin remains.
1 Timothy 1 chapter 4. Listen to it.
Say, neither give heed to fables, endless genealogies, which minister questions.
That's minister questions.
Rather than godly edifying, which is in faith.
We're supposed to be coming up with godly building up of people, which is in the belief of the promise of why you labor.
Now, the end of the commandment is love out of a pure heart.
The purpose of the word is love out of a pure heart. If you have a pure heart, that means you have a perfect heart. See, what nigga don't want to deal with is the word tell you, this man say it's not what goes into a man that defile him, but what come out. And what comes out of men's hearts? Evil thoughts, blasphemies, fornications, adulteries, murders, thefts, covetousness, evil eyes, blasphemies. These is which defile a man. And you think you defile before God because you had a release of bodily fluids? These dudes will make you believe you'll be a perpetual sinner because you had a release of bodily fluids. Now, if you release bodily fluids in adultery or fornication, then that's different. It's not the release of the bodily fluid that made you unclean. It was the evil intention of your heart. But if you had sex with your wife and you ejaculated because you just unclean, you have committed no sin. But dudes take unclean and make that see you a sinner. That's how they try to. I had a dude years ago tell me, see, you sin. You ever sat on the city bus seat? It might have been a lady who had her period and she sat there. That's not no sin, nigga. Pardon me, these people done piss me off, man. It's disrespectful to your God. They're telling you that you can't do something that God said you can do. He said in that verse, is he referring to the 10 when he say commandments? What verse you talking about? What you just read?
What's that, verse 4? Say, now the end of the commandment is love.
Oh, he talking about the whole word. He really talking about Deuteronomy 6 and 4, and even the 10 also. The whole purpose of every mitzvah, every precept is love. Whether it's loving your Elohim with your whole mind, heart, strength, and soul, or loving your neighbor as yourself. The whole composite, the holistic application of the word is love. You know what I'm talking about? Now, Omar put in there, you can do all things through a Mashiach who strengthened me. And you know what he's talking about? That's endurance, because you're getting strengthened through faith. See, we don't want to apply it how we want, and I'm not saying Omar doing that. We don't want to apply it how Christians want to apply, well, Hebrews want to apply it to Christians. See, if you could do all things through Christ, why you can't keep the commandment? That man speaking past that. We speaking past that. We ain't got even no time to be dilly-dallying talking about some Sabbath days and dietary law. Well, you need the strength of a Mashiach to endure the tribulations that come with life to hold on to the promise, man. Not eating pork is light. When that man tell you too many of these niggas want to omit the weightier matters of the law, no judgment, no mercy, no faith. But everybody godly, let these people tell it. Everybody's a master understanding of the word. Let these people tell it. Ain't nobody preaching what the apostle preached. Ain't nobody teaching what the Lord taught them to teach us. Ain't none of these people talking none of this, man. And we listening to these people? Do you know anybody who telling you that you always gonna sin? God ain't sent them? You know how we know this? Deuteronomy 30 and 19. He got it on his t-shirt, doggone it. What do we got going on?
It say, I call Shamahim and earth to record this day against you. I have set before you life and death.
I said before you what?
Life and death.
I said before you what?
Life and death.
What else?
Blessing and cursing.
Blessing and what?
And cursing.
Therefore.
Choose life.
Therefore.
Choose life.
So why in the world would Yahuwah send somebody to tell you that you always gonna die? Why would he send somebody to tell you you always gonna choose death and you listen to these people? Shalom, Brother Rob. Read it again.
I call Shamahim and earth to record this day against you. I have set before you life and death.
I said before you what?
Life and death.
I said before you what?
Life and death.
One more time.
Life and death.
Go ahead.
Blessing and cursing. Therefore, choose life.
Choose what?
Choose life.
Choose what?
Choose life.
If ain't nobody telling you to choose life, God ain't son. If anybody telling you not to choose life, God ain't son. And if you simple enough to listen to him, you ought to go to hell. Because you're supposed to know the word of God better than that. Go ahead. He mentioned it. Read me Ezekiel 18 and give me verse 28. This ain't to castigate y'all. You supposed to know your God. But answer this question. Which one of his prophets he ever sent to speak death to the people when he wanted them to turn if he wasn't finna let wrath come on their head? He ain't never said you always gonna sin, but just try your best. He ain't never sent nobody who said that. Now, one time. Come on, man.
So because he considered and turned away from all the transgressions that he had committed, he shall surely live, he shall not die. Yet saith the house of Yasharal, the way of the Lord is not equal. Our house of Yasharal, are not my ways equal? Are not your ways unequal?
Pause. Now, for full context, because we didn't read that right. He said, if there be a righteous man who trusts in his righteousness and commit iniquity, he said, if that die, he'll die in his sin. Because that's what we were telling these dudes. How you born of the word, receive a ruach, and you sinning? He talking about you still gonna struggle with the Spirit of God in you? You still gonna be sinning with you say your God is perfect. You say your God is sinless. And you say you got the spirit of a perfect and sinless God in you, and you still sinning, you a liar, and the truth ain't in you. You's a bold-faced liar. You know what I'm talking about? Now, see, what people insinuate is not one time do we say, oh, when you hear the word, you're supposed to just convert right then. That's impossible when you're dealing with people who have no foundation in the word at all when they come into it. That's not even a reasonable expectation. No godly man would even have that expectation. They already know I got to walk with you. But once time done went over a period of time, okay, now you playing. You know, these people kept talking about you got to repent every day. Repent from what? If you repented from something 12 years ago, what you need to repent for today for? You know the evidence that you repented? See, everybody want to scream repentance, but you remember what John the Baptist told them scribes? Bring forth fruits meet for repentance. What is fruit? It's the byproduct. It's the evidence. It's the produce. Your life should show you repented, not you just opening your mouth. If you used to smoke crack, I should see that you don't do that no more. If you used to be a whoremonger, there's proof, not just by you getting married. See, getting married doesn't show proof that you're not a whoremonger anymore. We see proof that you no longer live by the lust of your flesh, seeking pleasure in your loins. I used to be a drunk. I don't drink anymore. The proof is in my life. I don't have to say a word. The evidence is there. That's why he said, bring forth fruits meet for repentance. That your actions should show this. This is why he said, by their what? Their fruits, you should know them. This man said a good tree can't bring forth evil fruit. So how you a good tree and you bring an evil fruit? Do you know when man, De'Eric said son, dude thought he was talking about Isaiah, Proverbs 24:16. And he started talking about, yeah, man, just man falls 7 times. Bro, I asked this man this. I challenge any of you to find it. Can anybody show me a righteous man who sinned 7 times consecutively? 7 times sporadically? And he was deemed to be righteous? You're not going to find, you know what he said, David? Man, David sinned once and never did it again. What are we talking about? Lord have mercy. That's what he said, nigga. That's what he said. I mean, it's always told you to return to him. Turn from your wicked ways, and I will receive you. He said, I'm plenteous in mercy and ready to forgive. He said, I won't hold my anger forever. This is what the man said. That boy said that David's response was diabolical because they were boxed in because these are questions they can't answer because they're not accustomed to people asking them these type of questions. They're used to people just acquiescing and saying you always gonna sin, coming up with scenarios to justify being a sinner. You understand? See, these gentlemen didn't even know the difference between being a sinner, being a transgressor, and being a worker of iniquity. Those are 3 different mindsets. This man say that he came to make an end to sins, to finish the transgression. So when he say the son of Elohim was manifested to destroy the works of the devil and put an end to sin, give praise to your God. That means your God came to set you free. You was in lust and he set you free. You was in bondage to unbelief and he set you free. You was in bondage to the world and he set you free. You was in bondage to death and he set you free. Stop letting these niggas tell you you got to stay locked up because this goofy nigga don't want to get out of jail. That junk pissed me off, man. You know why? Give me Proverbs 11:31. What you was holding for that?
Ezekiel 18.
We're going to read it. Read me John. What I just said?
Proverbs
Proverbs 11 and 31. Listen to what he said.
Say, behold, the righteous shall be much recompense in the earth, much more the wicked and the sinner.
Come on. Well, it's 30.
The fruit of the righteous, a tree of life, and he that wins souls is wise.
Don't you know this man say the words of the righteous are a tree of life also? The righteous words speak life. He literally told you to choose life. He said the righteous produce life. They words speak life. The words are a wellspring of understanding. You know that wellspring is the fountain of living water. That pertains to God is life. But they telling you to choose death. My God, today. Come on back to Ezekiel 18. My God, today. Come on, man.
Verse 29.
Ezekiel 18 and 29.
Say, yes, said the house of Yasharal, the way of the Lord is not equal. Oh, house of Yasharal, I'm not my ways equal.
Now, he said that if a man had committed sin and repented from his sin, none of his former sins will be remembered if, hold on. Let me just read this. You used to stay where you at. Let me just read the point of what he said here, right? Because I want to be clear so you can hear it. And it might be Ezekiel 33 that I want specifically. But I'm going to read you verse 20 of Ezekiel 18. The soul that sinned, it shall die. The son shall not bear the iniquity of the father, neither shall the father bear the iniquity of the son. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him. And the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him. But if the wicked will turn from all the sins that he have committed and keep all my statutes and do that which is lawful and right, he shall surely live. He shall not die. All his transgressions that he have committed, they shall not be mentioned unto him. In his righteousness that he have done, he shall live. Have I any pleasure at all that the wicked should die, saith Yahuwah Elohim, and not that he should return from his ways and live? But when the righteous turn away from his righteousness and commit iniquity and do according to all the abominations the wicked do, shall he live? All his righteousness that he have done shall not be mentioned. In his trespass that he have trespassed, and in his sin that he have sinned, in them he shall die. And they say right there, oh, Yahuwah is unequal. That's what these wicked niggas saying right now. They saying that a man who's been righteous should sin, should still get the same thing that somebody who did and stopped and never did it again. He didn't say, oh, they slipped up right here. He said they returned and never did it again. Where's people getting this from? Why are you even leaving room to fail? Why are you talking to you? See, you do that in your natural life, and that's why you don't succeed in the things that you want to do, because you're leaving room to fail. And what I mean by leaving room to fail, you're telling yourself before you even get started, you're going to fail. You're sabotaging yourself intentionally. And that comes from low self-esteem. That comes from unbelief. Somebody say, oh yeah, I already know I ain't going to stick to my diet. What's the point of starting? You've already left room, so when you do it, you can be justified in your mind for not keeping to what you said that's what you was going to do. You know what I'm talking about? That's what you're doing. You're leaving. That's mediocrity. That is a loser's mentality. Why do you even want to think like a loser and congregate with losers? Because that's how losers think. Winners think, I'm going to win no matter what I face. I'm going to accomplish my objective. Does that mean that things don't come in the way and they don't meet, but they're not going to allow that to, no, I'm going to push past that. I'm going to own it. I'm going to take responsibility for it. I'm going to keep on going. They don't leave room for failure. They don't leave room for that. Because when you leave room for that, it's because you want to fail. You listen to these niggas if you want to. Yes, indeed. He said you should hit on why speak on a man more. Yeah, then this nigga had a nerve to call Peter a sinner and a hypocrite. But these niggas are so arrogant that they had the nerve to speak on a man more righteous than them. A man who is declared to be upon this rock, I'm going to build my house. The man who got a direct revelation from the Father that this man was the Son of God. How dare you open your mouth and speak against this man? You ought to repent for the wicked thought of your heart. That's how wicked these niggas is, man, that they will speak on a man more righteous than them. The disrespect. Oh, so why did Peter deny? Goofy nigga, it's written. He didn't know he was going to do it. Well, why did he do it? Because he didn't understand. Because he was carnal, dummy. But you can't understand that. You trying to find fault on the chief apostle, my nigga. Do you understand how wicked that is? I just want y'all to pause and let that sink into your brain. That you got men who don't even know God for real, who don't even have his spirit and have the nerve to speak against the chiefest of apostles, who the Lord himself said, upon this rock, I'm going to build my house. The unmitigated dog. The unmitigated dog. Man, you think you can speak words like that and that don't resonate in heaven? You think the Lord's sitting in heaven like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Are you out your mind? See, I'm not talking about people who speak against these weirdo pastors out here now. I don't care about that. You shouldn't speak against no righteous man, period, whether he a preacher or not. But we talking about the man who the Lord said, I'm going to build my house upon you. You going to speak against him? God revealed his son to Peter what he showed you. He said, blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, because flesh and blood have not revealed this unto you, but my Father in heaven did it. You going to speak against him? Boy, you out your mind, boy. Boy, you out your mind, boy. You a different type of crazy. I wouldn't dare. You know what I'm talking about? I wouldn't dare. That's how people roll, man. You got to pay attention to that type of stuff. That's not cool. So you can prove your point that we all said Peter did it. Peter literally told you, he that suffered in the flesh cease from sin. They don't want to hear that. Don't nobody want to hear that. You got to ask yourself this question. What sins is, and I've asked y'all this before, what are you niggas doing? Like literally, what are y'all doing? Are y'all that covetous of other people's belongings? Are you just that spiteful? Or you have that much respect to persons in judgment? You that doggone horny? Like, what are y'all doing? That's why I said it has to be unbelief. Or your pride. That's the only two things I can come up with. Leaning more towards the former versus the latter. It has to be unbelief. It has to be. Because there's nothing you're doing that is that serious and you say you love God for you to go out here and do. What are you doing? What is out here that you that pressed? This is a rhetorical question. You ain't got to answer if you want to, by all means. But this is a question that any one of us should be asking. What out there is that serious? You want to get high that bad? You want to get drunk that bad? Like, what you got going on? Come on, man. Ezekiel 18 and what? 30. Come on.
Therefore, I will judge you, O house of Yasharal, everyone according to his ways. Saith Yahuwah Elohim, repent and turn from all your transgressions, so iniquity shall not be your ruin. Cast away from you all your transgressions.
Cast away from you what?
All your transgressions.
Some of your transgressions.
All your transgressions.
A few of them?
All.
You know, just a couple.
All.
Okay.
Whereby you have transgressed.
And do what?
Make you a new heart.
That's what people don't want to do. And a new what else?
In a new ruach.
That's what nobody don't want to do.
But why would you die, O house of Yasharal?
See, you don't want to make a Kadash, Lev, and breath.
For I have no pleasure in the death of him that dieth, save Yahuwah Elohim.
So do what?
Wherefore turn and live.
Dude steady talking about repenting, man. Repentance literally means turn. Why are you going back? Paul said, I call all things but dumb. And I ain't said this in a long time, and those of you already know, ain't nobody finna defecate in the toilet and turn around and stick their hand in the toilet and grab that defecation. That is literally how you ought to look at sin. You gonna turn around and stick your hand in the toilet and take your feces out and play with it? So that's what you committing sin when you out here in the world. You're supposed to count that as a loss. You won God. You ain't letting that go. Get it for him, man. Philippians 3 and 7. You got to think like that because sin is literally unclean. And it's not the uncleanliness other than the uncleanness that come out of your heart. It can't allow you to stand before God because your heart's not pure. But you say the word wash and clean. He said that you might be washed by the washing of the word. How people receiving the word, but your heart's still dirty? That means you don't believe it. There's no way that you're going to tell me that this word is a cleaning agent. You talk about it every day. You read it every day. You say you praying every day, but your heart's still filthy. Nigga, that is insane to me. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. I'm not saying that at no level I think I'm better. That makes no sense to me. There's no way that anybody could rationalize that to me. See, I told them dude did earlier, man. Now, I might just be different. But because I wasn't raised in no church, man, I ain't had no word to unlearn. I didn't have no preconceived notions. I ain't coming with nobody's camp doctrine. You know, we were talking to this dude today, man. I said, he said, do you hate white people? I said, what make you ask me that? Because people who use it, I said, that's y'all problem, man. Y'all dealing with doctrine, bro. We talking about for real. Man, this is definitely serious to me, man. This is dead serious to me, man. That man told you in Deuteronomy 32, I laid it to heart a minute because it was no different when we was in the street. That man Moses said, man, this ain't a vain thing for you, man. This is your life. See, the problem with too many people is you used to being fake and phony all your life. You used to saying you about something, but you really not about that for real. So you don't actually hold to the tenets of what you say you own. Now, there may be a few things in life that you did and you was like, that was your life. See, for you at one point, dance probably was your life. You probably ate it. You probably slept it. You probably breathed it. It permeated every bit of your life. Or the word supposed to be the same way. You supposed to have that same attitude with that. Now, everybody don't run across something that they run across in life that they hit like that. I just know you was into that. See, when I was hustling, that was my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about, I'm a gangster, I'm a street nigga. Nah, boy, we out here. I'm on that. When I started training in July 2007, that became everything attached to it. I was with that. I mean, I need to eat like this to get like that. I need to train like this to get like that. I immerse myself in everything into that. Not even necessarily to do it to make money, but because this is what I'm on now. I'm on that. I'm on that. You know what I'm saying? So when I got in the word, bro, I'm like, oh, boy, you going to hit. Oh, yeah, I'm on that, cuz. And I'm not doing that to impress nobody. I don't know you niggas. When I say that, meaning I don't know you enough to want to perpetrate, to make you think that I'm something that I'm not, or try to impress you. I don't know you like that to want to do that. I don't need your validation. I don't even care. I don't even care. And I'm not saying that none of y'all like I don't care about. I'm talking about, I meet somebody, I ain't gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm like this here. Let me make this nigga believe I'm right. Nigga, who are you for me to do all of that for? I'm not doing all that for what? Well, this is what it is with me, cuz. I'm on that. I can't speak for you. I ain't got nothing to do with what you got going on. But bro, I'm not on that. See, it was some niggas came around here and they thought I was like them. Because they was pump faking and hesitating. And then they seen I was on that for real. I don't know what you got going on. See, for them to find out I was on that for real, that means they was faking and they thought I was too. Nah, cuz this really me. No, this really me, bro. You faking. I don't know how to do that. And you know what I mean by? Because I don't know how to do something that I don't want to do, but act like I do. I'm just not going to do it. That's what I mean. I don't know how to do that. I don't have the energy to pretend to do something I don't want to do because I'm just not going to do it. Like if I didn't want to work out, you can't pretend to go to the gym minimum 4 days a week for 17 years and that ain't what you want to do. Eventually you'll get exposed. Your actions will tell on you because this is not what you want to do. If you don't want to hustle, it's going to show because you always in bed. Somebody hit you up, boy, what you got going on? Yeah, I'm at the house. Well, I thought you were trying to get to the bread. Yeah, I'm going to go out there. You're going to get exposed. Your deeds are going to expose you. Bro, you're not on that. You know how you get exposed if you don't have intestinal fortitude and drive and commitment in the face of adversity? You take a loss and you quit. I'm not talking about saying, hey, man, this business not working. I'm going to leave this alone. Because sometimes you got to know when to cut your losses with stuff and be like, you know what? Woo, we're done with that. We're going to leave that alone. We hemorrhaging money. We'd be foolish to keep on going. I'm talking about every time you face some manner of difficulty, you stop. That ain't what you want to do. You know what I'm talking about? Because if that's what you want to do, you would look at that adversity and you would figure out how I can overcome that. And you would endure through it until you get to the other side. When that's what you want to do. You know what I'm talking about? So when you get in that word, when persecution and tribulation come about, you're going to let Yahuwah be your fear and your dread until you get past that. Like the word tell you to do. See, when you love God, when you get tempted, blessed are those who endure temptation, because they're going to receive a crown of life for all those that love him. You're going to be like, yeah, I'm tempted to do this here, but I love God. I'm gonna push through that. That's how you know that's what you want to do. All this extra stuff, it's not what people want to do. And the fact that this man told you to enter in at the straight gate because narrow is the way, it be few there that find it, you have to be foolish to think this is what everybody want to do. This is not what everybody want to do. And their actions are, look here, man, I done told you plenty of times. It's not hard to tell who want to do this or who not. It's not some extra level of discernment or wisdom. It's paying attention to people's deeds. Not seeing them for who you want to see them for, not basing it off the relationship you have with them, but based strictly off of the fruits of their behavior. And that's going to tell you, oh yeah, that's not what they want to do. That's how I ain't never been wrong with making that assessment. I don't run around telling you, oh no, he don't want to do that. But I can already see, yeah, cuz don't want to do that. He not going to last long. You know what I'm saying? Because this is not what he want to do. You know what I'm saying? It's not for me to put that out there, but I can observe that. So it doesn't matter what matter of counseling you give him. It don't matter how much encouragement you give him. It don't matter how much of admonition, exhortation, whatever adjective you want to use to describe of pushing and prodding and motivating somebody to do something. If that's not what they want to do, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not the type of person who's going to keep talking to you. Second admonition, third admonition, I'm going to leave you alone. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave you alone. I done said enough. I done gave you 2 to 3 witnesses. How much, what more you want me to do? But you know what people want you to do? You want you to beg. They think you're supposed to beg somebody instead of observing. That's not what they want to do. And that's okay. Because that ain't got nothing to do with me. That ain't got nothing to do with Yahuwah. That's got to do with them. All you can do is pray that Yahuwah turn them from opposing themselves and be released from the clutches of the devil. That's all you can do. There's a difference from somebody who don't want to do it and somebody who's struggling inwardly. You know what I'm saying? Those are 2 different scenarios. Somebody who's struggling inwardly with whatever it is that they may be struggling with, because usually the byproduct of sin is not only just the desire to do something. A lot of things have a genesis of where that desire come from. So you have to zero in on that. Because some people don't want to, they don't want to be in bondage to what it is. They want to be free. They just don't know how. That's why he told Peter, when you are converted, strengthen your brethren. That's why you give people the words of faith so that they can be strong. So that they're trusting you. Anybody who trusts in you can overcome anything, because that's where their strength comes from. That boy said when he said that, I was baffled. I feel you, bro. It is what it is, man. Come on with it, G. Coming back in
we're in Philippians 3:7.
Run me Philippians 3:7, then we'll swing back to John chapter 9, by the way.
But what things were gained to me, those I counted lost for Mashiach.
What things were what?
Were gained to me.
I counted them what?
Lost for Mashiach.
Go ahead.
Yea, doubtless, and I count all things lost for the excellency of the knowledge of
He said, I'm willing to count everything lost to have this excellent knowledge of Yahushua HaMashiach. Remember, the knowledge of my righteous servant will make many righteous. That's what the book says. Come on with it.
My Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things.
And count them.
Dung, but that I may win Mashiach.
That man say, I count the loss of all things accounted as human excrement, that I might win the Lord. That testimony of the Son of God, he said, I'm willing to lose everything I have in life and count it as but the waste that one takes and buries in the ground, that I might win the Lord. Read it again.
Yea, doubtless.
That's right, Omar.
And I count all things lost for the excellency of the knowledge of Hamashiach Yahushua, my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them dung, that I may win Hamashiach. Be found in him, not having my own righteousness.
Not having my what?
My own righteousness.
Not having my what?
My own righteousness.
But what righteousness?
Which is of the law, but that which is through the faith of Hamashiach.
That's what they don't like to hear.
Which is of Elohim by faith.
The righteousness which is the tree of life. Most brews don't want the righteousness that's of faith. Most Christians think they have it, but they really don't believe for real. Because the just live by their faith. So there's no way you believe, but you don't live according to that promise. See, that's what we told to do earlier. When you're born of God, you live according to the promises that God has made. Most people don't live according to this man's promises. Like I said, keeping the law is easy. It's easy when you believe. I'm talking about genuine faith from the heart. It is not difficult. What's difficult is now I'm talking about keeping the law is not difficult. What is difficult is conquering your flesh and conquering unbelief, meaning allowing the word to take root to the discipline of refraining from ungodly activity. I've told you this on numerous occasions. Most people are undisciplined. Period. This is not a gender thing. This is a people thing. Most people, period, are undisciplined. Do you know what I'm talking about? This is why they do not achieve the things that they desire to achieve, because they lack discipline. Yeah, most people lack discipline. That's why sometimes, and I'm going to mention this because Marvin and Mika just mentioned, because I know they was in the military. People who've been in the military, that's why they speak to the discipline that they gained from being in the military when they applied it to other aspects of their life. You want to know the hallmark of a very undisciplined person? When they tell you that they came from a strict disciplined home and they rebelled against it. Because they didn't want that discipline. They wanted to freelance. They wanted to move on a whim. They didn't understand what it means to refrain, what it means to stick to something. See, let's look at discipline by definition. Now, it means a multitude of things because, discipline has multiple definitions. We all know that. But let's just take a look at it from the white man's perspective, from his definition. The practice of people to obey rules or a code of behavior, using punishment to correct disobedience. That's literally what Yahuwah does. He trains you to obey we're not going to talk about just no rules, but a code of behavior. Because that's what Darak is. It is a way of life, a branch of knowledge to train someone. So when you look at discipline, you're literally dealing with training yourself to stick to a certain lifestyle. See, and you know what word that is for us? It's musar. It's chastisement. That's why he said, do not despise the chastening of Yahuwah. For who Yahuwah loved, he chastens. So those he loved, he's literally training you to stick to a way of life. It's literally what he's doing. That's what discipline is about. You hear people talk about in America, peace, Yasha, man. You hear people talk about in America, man, how people are obese. They're obese because they lack discipline. You know what I'm talking about? You lack discipline. You won't maintain to the code of behavior that you need to maintain to. When you're dealing with the words, you have to have discipline. That's why one of the fruits of the spirit is temperance or self-control, because Yahuwah has discipline. Meaning you don't react off your emotions. You don't react off of your flesh, which is why the apostle wrote that those who are Mashiachs have crucified their affections and lusts. They have disciplined themselves to stick to that code of behavior through the word, through the promise that has been made through the Son of God, that all those that believe on him should never taste death. You know what I'm saying? See, when people hear this, you're trying to be justified by the law, cuz we ain't talking about no law, cuz. We're not talking about that. But as men, and I told these gentlemen this, as men, we should never allow ourselves to teach to young men that it's permissible to be mediocre in the service to their God. That they always gonna fall short to the service. That's not what men do. Men empower other men to be great. This is what your God did when he manifested himself in the flesh. He empowered his apostles so that they could be great. He literally said, the disciple is not above his master, and everyone that shall be perfect shall be as his master. He's literally empowering them to become great. He didn't tell them, you're always going to be a sinner, man. You'll never be like me. He never told them that. And I'd be wondering, what type of men raised you? Because men empower other men to be great. See, a young man becoming greater than you does not, what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't make another man insecure. It's not a threat to him. Not an older man, because that's his objective. I need you to be greater than me to continue in the pathway that I've walked on because I'm passing the baton to you, son. That's what Paul was talking to Timothy about. He said, I finished my course. I'm finna lay down. It's time for me to pass this off to you, man. I've been giving you the game and training you to get you ready because I need you better than me. The Lord literally said, greater works than these than you gonna do because I'm training you to do what I came here to do. I need you to be better than me. That's not a threat to me. See, weirdo men, lower level men, insecure men, weaker men, they are threatened by empowering other men because they're focused on all the attention being on them. See, some dudes say, see, no, you just want to be seen, bro. We got a job to do. You have a job to do, you have to do it. But it's tailed in the job, do you empower the men that you're around? Do you have them be your lackeys who are always up under you? Or you set it up so they can be men to stand on their own 10 toes? That's all you have to pay attention to. Men who are threatened by other men will always want other men under their stewardship. They will never give them the information or game that they need to stand on their own. That's how they penny pinch you with information. That's why Paul said, I ain't never shunned to declare all the counsel of God to you. I ain't held nothing back. Because as Moses said, when they came, they prophesying in the camp. He said, man, why you envying for me? I would to God all his people would be prophets. That's not taking nothing from me. You putting his spirit on you and putting the word in your mouth don't take nothing from me. You know why? Because we want to pray to the Lord of the harvest that he send laborers into his harvest, for the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. See, niggas who want the lordship and to be benefactors and want all the attention, that's a threat to them. You have to pay attention to these type of things. That's right. He said, my father always reminded me to learn from his mistakes and be better than he could be. Yeah, man, that's what you do. As a man, that's what you're supposed to do. So if we're dealing with young men who coming from whatever situations and circumstances that they coming from, you're supposed to empower them through the power of their God to be greater than what they came from. Not, oh, you always gonna lust, brother. No, you always gonna fight your flesh. It's up to you if you let your flesh win. Will you let the word of a Mashiach win, or would you let your flesh win? And only you can answer that. I can't answer that for you. Are you going to bring your thoughts into captivity to the obedience of Mashiach, or are you going to give in to your lust? Because nobody ever said that you're not going to have to fight your flesh. But there has to come a point where you just not around here just giving in and making an excuse for giving in. You gave in because that's what you wanted to do. He said every man is enticed and drawn away by his own lust. That's what the book say. Nobody's unintentionally sinning. You intentionally doing that. You know what you're doing. And you made a decision. And we told you, brother earlier, man, like, so you saying it ain't no repentance? I'm not saying it's not no repentance. I'm saying that you're not entitled to his forgiveness. Who told you because you repented that you was going to be forgiven? I told you this plenty of times. This is the mentality that we've allowed ourselves to develop to believe that this owe you forgiveness. He don't owe you that. That's his prerogative. If he wants to extend it to you, why would you take the chance to find out if he will? That don't make sense. You playing Russian roulette with your soul. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and knock this chick down. God will forgive me. That's a terrible mind to have. What if he don't? What if he don't? Y'all know what Ecclesiastes 8 and 11 say? Because the sentence against an evil work isn't executed speedily, it is privily in the hearts of the sons of Adam to do evil. See, if this man was killing people on the spot for committing sin, people probably would consider. But because he's merciful and gracious and extends you something that you don't deserve, that makes you think, I can keep doing it. That's a dangerous place to be, man. But guess what? You won't do Mr. Charlie like that, because if Mr. Charlie puts you in that lockup downtown, you'll consider. But guess what, though? Y'all who done committed crimes in your life, you know why you kept committing them crimes? Because you didn't get caught. You didn't get caught, so you felt like, shoot, I ain't go to jail this time. Shoot, I'm going to rob him. I'm going to steal out of here again. Now, I'm gonna tell you, when I sold crack, I ain't had no thought like, oh, I made this serve, I got away with it. I'm already knowing, boy, if I ain't careful, one day I'm going to jail. This come with what I'm doing. So it wasn't no thought of, oh, I got delayed. I can keep on selling this. Every day we on guard, man. It wasn't never no day we just walk around here loose like I can't go to jail. Nah, boy, we know this these people's job to catch me. It's their job to lock me up. I gotta be on point every day. Do you understand that is not an enjoyable life to live? Man, don't let these niggas on the internet fool you, man. Niggas bounce around because they delight in their flesh, man. That ain't no life to be living. That's not enjoyable. That you don't know when that you got it in your mind that, hey, man, these niggas trying to come and get me. I ain't even talking about the police. We talking about people in the street. You got it in your mind like, he coming to get me. Then you got in your mind, I got to watch for the police. They coming to get me, boy. We were riding out east the other day, boy. Was this dude be posted up at the store on 21st, man? Police pulled up on the back way on this nigga. Walked up on it. Caught him with the pack. Slipping. You know what I'm talking about? Man, that's the same way who will catch you with your soul, man. You walk around here thinking you strong in your sin, and he come and get you. Now you laying in the grave. Not even laying at the grave, boy, you at the coroner's office, boy. Getting ready to go to the funeral home. You done get made to that upper room. Now you gotta deal with your judgment. And you was caught on the wrong side of righteousness. Man, that's not the play, my G. He said, I heard people say they're gonna be like the thief on the stake next to Yahusha. Get forgiveness at the last minute. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. That's a dangerous way to live, man. That's a dangerous way to live. Because, see, the difference with the thief is, as you can say, you can infer the thief knew who this man was and what he was doing. In that moment, he believed. The thief already knew he was condemned. That's why he said what he said. He said, hey, man, we rightfully in this situation, but this man ain't did nothing. He didn't have a thought, I'm going to do what I want to do, live how I want to live, and then when it's time for me to die, God forgive me, you going to hell, cuz. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. That is dangerous. And that's what I was telling them brothers earlier. What you proposing and espousing is dangerous. Because these are people's lives we talking about, man. See, man, I think sometimes, man, we deal with this word so much with other people who in the word, and you really think it's just about doctrine and disputes and all this here, and you forget that, nah, G, this real life. There's people's lives on the line. My soul on the line. Man, I can't play around with that, cuz. Listen, man, I told y'all before, man. I stood in the courtroom and I listened to a man who had my life in his hand. This man the state asked for 12, he could give me life. Man, my life on the line. But y'all better thank God you don't know what it's like to be walking in no courtroom shackled from hand to foot and your life on the line and you ain't got no power in it whatsoever.
The charges you
if you happen to depending on the charges you got, it can equate to life. I was a habitual felony offender. That is an enhancement of the sentence. I had 2 30-year felonies with equal to 60 years. With that felony enhancement, that's natural life. Yeah, that's natural life. And natural life in Florida means just that. Ain't no 25 years you get parole because you here till you die. Because I always heard people say, I'll wait till before I die and say God. That is dangerous. Yeah, ain't no parole in Florida, man. Ain't no 25 years. Ain't no parole board here. You get a life sentence in the state of Florida, that's exactly what it means. I told you that before. Your release date going to say 99999999. You not. I got 4 friends got life sentence right now. Coming home. I said, them boy been in the penitentiary for the county in the penitentiary for 17 years. And they went in their early 20s. They never coming home. They gonna die there. You know what I'm talking about? Man, shoot. There ain't no way to live, man. You gotta ask yourself, what we got? What we hold? Go back to John 9. Read me 41 again. I need to crank it up or not. There's 2 things I want to hit.
So Yahusha said unto them, if you were blind, you should have no sin. But now you say we see, therefore your sin remains.
Now read them Genesis 2:25. We was in 1 Timothy 1. After you read Genesis 2:25, you can go back to 1 Timothy 1. I'm not saying that to denigrate nobody. I'm telling you, man, you got to consider, man, it's your life, bro. None of y'all would volunteer to go to prison. But you going to volunteer to be in prison to sin? If you in prison to sin, you in prison to death. That man said he came to free you who all your lifetime was in bondage to death. That's what the writer of the epistle said. Paul wrote that where the Ruach of the Lord is, there's liberty, there's freedom. He said, you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. He said, he that commits sin is the servant of sin. And the servant abide not in the house forever. If the Son shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. This is how you free among the dead. That man setting you free. Why you holding on to that? Look at it, man. Most of y'all ain't never been to jail, man. Like for an extended period of time. Civic done worked in the prison. He could tell you, boys, people in there, they don't want to come home. I know that might sound crazy to you, but there's people in there, they don't want to get out. They don't want to get out because they don't want to deal with the responsibilities of life because they've been in here so long. They don't want to deal with coming out because they've been institutionalized. See, you got to look at the way we think as sin. You like a nigga who institutionalized in prison. You think this the way this supposed to be. Man, let me tell you something, man. You know the biggest fight in prison is mental. Man, if you don't understand that prison will destroy you mentally, you know another place that's just like that? The United States military. You know what I'm talking about? You got to have a strong mind to come into the United States military and not be indoctrinated and institutionalized into the way that they think because they're trying to train you to think a particular type of way. And you have to maintain what's going on there and your natural mind, because if not, you will be indoctrinated and institutionalized through the way that the United States of America wants you to think. Dead serious, man. I'm not saying this out of just to making this up. Me can just say it, so we already know, man, when you get into jail, when you get in the penitentiary, man, you can become institutionalized. The penitentiary is literally set up the same fashion that the United States military boot camp is set up. And they come with the same tactics and movements to get you to be institutionalized, to conform to groupthink, to no longer have the ability to set yourself free from that bondage. He said, I know somebody that feared getting out because he knew he would die on the outside. Now that's different. Somebody who was scared getting out because he knew he was going to die because he knew he was going to go back to what he was doing. Dang, he said, unfortunately, he gone now. Some dudes don't want to get out because they know, boy, they ain't got nobody. They know they're going to end up right back in the same situation and circumstance. They already know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I told you, man, I was locked up with a dude. He said, that's why I left after 4 years. Honorable discharge. Oh, that's right. Man, I told you I was locked up with a dude from town, man. He told me he'd been to prison so many times he didn't want a woman no more. All he wanted was a man. I said, my Lord, my G, are you serious? Dead serious. He look at me, I'm talking about not blinking. The same way y'all seen that clip of Mike Tyson, he said, man, if you want to box, what sport you would play? That man said, I'd be a criminal. That man wasn't smiling. And if you looked in his eyes, he was processing the thought process of all his friends who were gangsters in New York City, that he knew he would have been running with them and participating in what he was doing because that was his life. And he would have been comfortable being in prison. That wouldn't have bothered him. I don't want to get out. Because you get accustomed to that. You get accustomed to being accosted. When you stay in your flesh and you stay with sin, you get comfortable with being in jail, and the man has given you the key to your cell and say, get out. But you don't want to get out. That's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy to me. Say we didn't sleep 24, 48 hours in processing before basic training. Yeah. See, that's tough. Now, they don't do you like that in prison. You know what I'm saying? At least not in Florida. But I told you, they got controlled movement. They want everybody to walk in a yellow line. You know what I'm saying? And in Taylor CI, if one of them COs caught you stepping out that yellow line, them people might slap you in your face because in front of a whole bunch of other men. I told him when I was at Gold Correctional, and that man said, you reckless eyeballing my woman? And that man slapped this dude, bro. I looked around because in my mind, I said, well, I know we finna kill this crap. I'm not telling you that it's right. I'm just telling you this is my thought process because I'm knowing if these boys willing to ride, I'm finna ride with them because I know this white man just ain't slapped this black man in his face, bro, in front of all us. These niggas didn't move. And the prison that I was at, man, that was a maximum security prison. There was killers in there. These men had real time. I ain't got but 5 years. These dudes got 30, 75, life, all that. I say, why finna Mardi Gras this man? Nobody moved. This man didn't even stand. There's nowhere in the world he would have killed me right there where I stood. Because prison or not, bro, you're not finna do that to me, bro. I'm gonna have to die here today. My manhood will not allow me to let you disrespect me in this fashion. I'm gonna have to die today. There's no way. Because I wouldn't let an inmate do that to me. So I'm not finna let you do it. You know what I'm saying? That's just my thought process. I'm not finna let him do that. So I know I'm not finna let you do it. And this ain't not no tough guy stuff. There's no way. Absolutely no way. Man, one time one of them CEOs took me in that laundry room, man, he's selling out. And in my mind, I'm like, boy, I'm gonna punch him first. And then I'm gonna whoop him. And he gonna remember me after I'm dead. Because I'm gonna make sure that I damage this man to the utmost of my ability. Because when they take you in that laundry room, man, it's a strong chance they gonna jump on you. So I'm already ready for this here. Because I wasn't bowing down to them people, bro. I don't care nothing about your badge. Because I don't care nothing about that uniform. I'm a man at first, bro. I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of you. You talk to me like a man, I'll talk to you like a man. You give me respect, I'm going to give you respect. You're not going to disrespect me and think that I'm going to kowtow to you because I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do it. I'm not scared of you, cuz. If I got to die today to maintain my manhood, then I'm going to die. And that's the same way you got to look at your soul. If you got to die to maintain, not to sin against your God, then you got to be willing to die versus kowtowing and capitulating to what these sinners want you to do. You got to remember that when the beasts come and they threaten your life. That's why he say, don't fear him who can cast your body into the grave. Fear him that can cast your soul into hell. I say fear him. You got to have that same mentality. I'll die before I relinquish my godness. I'll die before I go against my God. I will not relinquish that because I'm scared of you. I'm not scared of you, cuz. You bleed like I bleed. What I'm scared of you for? He got to stand before the same God you got to stand before. What you scared of him for? You know why you scared? Because you don't believe you're going to resurrect from the dead. You don't think that's true. You know what I'm saying? You don't think he's going to do that. When you believe that, you're going to have to do what you do, cuz. You're going to have the same thoughts of them young men in that fiery furnace. Be careful to answer you in this matter. He said, hey, man, and guess what they said? They said, hey, my God able to save me, but if not, I still ain't doing it. You know what I'm talking about? They didn't put no caveat in. Oh, if he saved me, yeah, I ain't gonna. It didn't matter. Whether he saved me or he don't save me, I'm not gonna dishonor myself. I'm not gonna dishonor my God. I refuse. And if I got to die, then so be it. You're gonna die anyway. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you gotta look at it. That's the same way we was in the street, man. You're gonna die anyway, man. You're gonna go out like a hoe. You gonna let a nigga hoe you out here, man? Nah. I ain't finna let Satan hold me, cuz. I ain't finna let him do it. Come on with it, man.
Genesis 2:25.
Listen to him.
Saying they were both naked, the man and his wife.
And they were what? Ashamed. And they were not what?
Not ashamed.
They were not what?
Ashamed.
Listen. Now give me back to 1 Timothy 1. The verse you started, you might have started at verse 5. Come on with it. 1 Timothy 1 and 5. So let you would be esteemed.
Now the end of the commandment is love out of a pure heart.
Out of a pure
conscience. And faith unfeigned.
Faith unfeigned.
From which some having swerved, having turned aside on the vain jangle.
They're like the jangle-lane. The boy a little sweet out here.
Desire to be teachers of the law.
Don't know what they talking about.
Understanding neither what they say nor whereof they affirm.
Listen to them.
But we know that the law is good if a man uses it lawfully.
But knowing this,
that the law is not made for a righteous
man. The law is not made for who?
A righteous man.
It's not made for who?
A righteous man.
But for who?
The lawless and disobedient.
Pause. Now give me Ecclesiastes 7 and 29, man. Listen to that. He said, law ain't made for a righteous man, right? Now remember, he said that while you see your sin, what? Remains. Listen to him.
Lo, this only have I found, that Elohim have made man upright.
But man did what?
They have sought out many inventions.
So he made man Yashar. He made man straight, level, and righteous from the jump street. Now go back to Genesis 3 and 7 and look what happened when they partook of that knowledge of good and evil. When they started touching on their law, what happened with Adam's eyes? What happened?
And the eyes of them both were open, And they knew that they were
And
naked.
the minute their eyes were open, their sin remained because he died. Because remember what he said in Genesis 3 and 22, lest he eat from the tree of life and do what, Sid? That means he would have been freed from the law of sin and death through the power of faith, which is the righteousness of God. That's why he said, I came for judgment for those who to see to make them what? Blind, so they wouldn't have no sin. That they would go back to the original state that he wanted in the garden. But nobody don't pay attention to that. He said, I used to have the Christian mindset of letting anybody hit me for the sake of Christ. I'm seeking peace first, but I understand having this is different, right? It's two things you got to understand. If somebody is seeking to do harm to you for the word's sake, suffer for the word's sake. Somebody is shalom, 10K. If somebody is seeking to do harm to you just on general principle, defend yourself, but maintain peace at all possible. But if there's no peace to maintain, fight for your life. Defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're not obligated to just see people play that. When he say turn it, they play that's a different scenario. If you being threatened on general principle, defend yourself. Remember what he said: fight for your wives, for your children, for your brethren, for your houses. But if it's for the word's sake, if you literally being persecuted for the word's sake, then let Yahuwah be esteemed, because through their reproach, Hamashiach is being honored on you. So let that come to pass. You know what I'm saying? You have to have wisdom to know the difference between the two. You got to have wisdom to know the difference between the two. Most people are not being persecuted for the word's sake. You know what most people being persecuted for? Because you don't know how to talk to people. Because you're trying to bully people on the word. Because you're trying to impress your thought process on these people. Leave them people alone. See, we ain't talking about like he told Ezekiel, go out and preach. You know what I'm talking about? And then people had a problem with what he had to say. You're purposely going to people, antagonizing them. What do you think is going to happen? Nobody's coming at you fooling with people. Now, if you're doing your job and they have a problem with what you're doing, that's different. But most of us, man, most of the preachers, man, ain't nobody fooling with you. You fooling with people. Learn this piece of wisdom right here. If ain't nobody asked you for that, bro, what you getting into them for? You not a preacher. That's not your job. You do know that you don't have to throw word at everybody you come across. That's why people don't want to talk to you, because you don't let your fruit speak. Meaning you don't let your lifestyle speak for you. What did Jacob tell Laban? He said, my righteousness is going to speak for me. I ain't going back and forth with you. I ain't got nothing to prove to you. He said, my righteousness is going to speak for me. This ain't your law. You're supposed to take what you think the Lord did when the people came. My righteousness is going to speak for me. My God going to vindicate me. 1 Peter 1. And then after that, man, we're going to get to dwelling with your wives according to knowledge. I don't even want to deal with the poverty stuff, man. I got God willing. I got 2 days to deal with that. Indeed, Amun. Come on.
Say, for even hereunto were you called, because Mashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that you should follow his steps. Who did no sin, neither was God found in his mouth.
He ain't got no lies in his mouth.
Who, when he was reviled not again. He suffered, he threatened not. He committed to him that judged righteously. Who his own self bare our sins in his own body on the tree, that we being dead to sin should live unto righteousness, by whose stripes you were healed. For you were as sheep going astray, but are now returned unto the shepherd and bishop of your souls.
Who did he say he committed his trust to?
Him that judge righteously.
That's all you got to do. Commit yourself to him that judge righteously. You ain't got nothing to prove to these people. Why you feel the need to prove something to somebody? Let your righteousness speak for you. Matter of fact, go to Genesis 33 with that, man. Make sure I got time to watch about it. We ain't got time to the book of Genesis wouldn't want. Give me Genesis 30, man. Tell me what 27 say. Hold on. Did we deal with the 3 feast days out of Genesis yet? Genesis 1. Did we do that yet? Oh, come on.
He said, Laban said unto him, I pray you, if I have found favor in your eyes, I have learned by experience that Yahuwah have baruched me for your sake.
And he said,
appoint me your wages and I will give.
And he said,
unto him, you know how I have served you and how your cattle was with me.
For a little.
Which you had before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude.
Yahuwah
have baruched you since my coming.
And now,
when shall I provide for my own house also?
And he said,
what shall I give you?
Jacob said,
you shall not give me anything.
If you will do this,
I will again feed and keep your flock.
He said, I will pass through
all your flocks,
removing from thence
all the speckled and spotted cattle,
all the brown
cattle among the sheep,
all the spotted
and speckled among the goats,
and of such
shall be my hire.
So shall
my righteousness answer for me in time to come.
So shall
my righteousness answer for me in time to come.
So shall
my righteousness answer for me in the time to come.
That's what you need to remember. That's what you need to remember. You heard what he said. You ain't gonna give me nothing. He said, my righteousness will answer for me in the time to come. Hold on. Something Numbers 24 came to my mind. Come over to number 24. Something we ain't talked about in a while. Let me make sure y'all gonna remember the verse when we read it. There it is. Come on, man. Give me dang, I look right past it. I might have skipped it. I hate when that happens. I don't like that. In my mind, and the verse ain't popping in my brain, and I feel like I'm looking right at it. Dang, I'm not looking at it. Let me back up. There you go. Back up a little bit. Come on, give me Numbers 24 and 1.
And when Balaam saw that it pleased Yahuwah to Baruch Yasharal, he went not as at other times to seek for enchantments, but he set his face toward the wilderness. And Balaam lifted up his eyes, and he saw Yasharal abiding according to their tribes, and the rock of Elohim came upon him. He took up his spear and said, Balaam the son of Beor hath said, and the man whose eyes are open hath said, he hath said, which heard the words of Elohim, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling, but having his eyes open. How goodly are your tents, O Jacob, your tabernacles, O Yasharal, as the valleys are they spread forth, as gardens by the river's side, as the trees of line aloes, which Yahuwah hath planted, as cedar trees beside the waters.
Listen to him.
He shall pour the water out of his bucket.
He's going to do what with the water out of his buckets?
Pour the water out of his bucket, and his seed in many waters. And his king shall be higher than Agag, and his kingdom shall be exalted.
Listen, he said he's going to pour water out of his what?
Out of his buckets.
And what is going to happen with them water on them buckets?
And his seed in many waters.
And his seed in what?
In many waters.
Those who born in him would be in the Ruach, because he said he's going to pour water out of his what?
Out of his buckets.
Now I want you to back up, because this is what I want this in chapter 23, right? Back me up, right? And pick me up about verse 7, right?
And he took up his parable and said, Balak, king of Moab, have brought me from.
Now I want you to keep 10, because he's taking up two parables. And we rehearse this in the righteous acts, right? You make your tongue as the pen of a ready writer. You're recounting the righteousness of God. Listen to him.
Have brought me from Aram out of the mountains of the east. Come, curse me, Jacob, and come defy Yasharal.
How shall I curse?
Whom Elohim have not cursed.
How shall I defy?
Whom Yahuwah have not defied.
Listen, tell him what defied means. Now remember, the people try to curse Mashiach, right? How can you curse who God has blessed? You can't do that. No matter what you do, you can't do that. Now he's going to make a statement, and we mentioned the latter before the former. I just want you to listen to him. Tell him what defied means, man.
That's the to denounce, express indignation, to be indignant.
Did they not denounce this man and say he was a sinner? Did they not, when Pilate put up the proclamation that he was the Malik of the Yahudim, and they say he said it? He said, how can I speak with indignation and denounce him whom Yahuwah have not denounced? Listen to the next thing he said, Numbers chapter 23, verse 9.
For from the top of the rocks I see him.
And from the hills,
I behold him.
The people
shall dwell alone.
And shall not be reckoned
among the nations.
Listen, he said, boy, the people shall not be alone. They won't be reckoned among the nations. You know what that means? That means everybody who's born of him, who's water, that water out of them buckets that got poured on his seed, you won't be counted with them people, because you'll be counted as the sons of God. How you going to be counted with flesh and you born of the Ruach? How that's going to happen? Listen what he said.
Who can count the dust of Jacob?
And number
Of the 4th of Yasharal.
Let me do what?
Die the death of the righteous.
Let me do what?
Die the death of the righteous.
Let me do what?
Die the death of the righteous.
And let my last end be like who?
Like his.
Come on, man. You think this just this man speaking a prophecy to you. He said, let me die the death of the who?
Of the righteous.
And let my latter end be like what? My last end be like what?
Like his.
My God today. My God today. Indeed, Omar. Listen, what does this mean? What can this point to? You want to die the death of the righteous? Give me Luke 9:23, because we were talking about it earlier, man. People steady talking about you. Man, if you taking up your stake daily, you suffer in the flesh every day. Paul say, I die daily. He didn't say he repent daily. People made that up. You die daily. After you read this Luke 9:23, we're going to swing right to Romans chapter 6. Come on with it.
And he said to all, if any will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his stake daily and follow me.
Take up your stake what?
Daily and follow me.
Now read me Romans 6:1. See, the problem is people don't want to deny themselves. A lot of people want to lose weight, but they don't want to stop eating cookies and cakes. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to deny yourself. Just like it's a lot of men, they say, I don't want to sleep around, but you sleep to whoever offer you vagina. You don't know how to deny yourself. Do you know as a man, you're weak if you don't have the ability to withhold yourself from things that bring you pleasure because you know you should not partake for whatever reason it is? You're not a man, you're a boy. Children lack impulse control. Joanne ain't got no impulse control. You know why? Because she's a toddler. She's 2. It would be foolish of me to think that a 2-year-old would have impulse control. Meaning that whatever seems good or right or feels good to her at the time, she gonna do it. You know the only way she not gonna do that? If I'm standing right there to moderate her. You leave a child to their own devices, they're always going to do what feels good to them in the moment. They don't have that level of cognitive ability to refrain themselves on a consistent basis. I can't even say consistent, on an overly regular basis. So when you look at yourself as a man, you're a grown man. You're of age. And you don't have the ability to have impulse control, to deny instant gratification. You're not a man. You can't even proclaim yourself to be a man. There's no way. Because you can't even deny what's pleasurable for a moment. How are you an adult? See, being an adult is not because you can pay bills. Because crackheads pay bills. Immature people pay bills. Do it every day. You know what I'm talking about? You have women who pay bills and will put themselves in debt to impress other women. Like literally. I'm not saying that to be disrespectful. I'm saying that because that's the reality of life, because most of us know somebody who's willing to do it. You have men who create whole facades to impress other people, who live in a complete and utter fantasy world because they can't control their impulses. Like when you see some of these reels, like especially on tonight's conversation, and they be asking, why do men cheat and this, that, there, and the third? A lot of them is because they lack impulse control. And you know why they lack impulse control? Because most of them never had attention from women. So because they never had attention from women, they never learned the ability to deny pleasure because they were always denied it, whether they wanted to be denied or not. So if somebody offers, they're going to go follow the impulse. They don't know how to say no. See, some men, once they've been with a certain amount of women, they be like, this is no. You got some dude, man, shoot, that might be the finest woman he ever seen. And he ain't going to tell her no. He know he got a wife at the house. He know he finna lie to this woman to justify whatever he finna get ready to do. Because he ain't got no control of himself. He let his wood think for him. You know what I'm talking about? Man, look at man on Can I Live, man. Jay told you straight up and down, man, you got to keep your head, both of them where they supposed to be. Because women will get you sidetracked and clapped from close feet. And a lot of men don't never learn that. But we read that a couple of weeks ago. He said a whore is a deep pitch. That man say, man, that man told you I find more exceedingly bitter than death the woman. He said, because her hands are like snares and nets, and her heart is like bands. And whoso please God will escape from her. You think this just talking about every woman? Man, if you're not a strong man, a woman would ensnare you and trap you, bro, and bring you straight to the pits of hell, man. Because you couldn't refrain yourself. Because you had to indulge, man. Them titties looking right here. Now look at you. Now you got the dart going through your side, like he said in Proverbs, you's a fool. Remember what he said, I looked out of my house to see the simple one, to see if you'll get caught up. Because you ain't a man, because you going with what feels good. Man, going with what feels good gonna kill you every time. Now, this passage refers to a woman in 1 Timothy 5 and 6, but I'll put it to everybody personally. She that liveth in pleasure is dead while she live. My God, today. Live for pleasure if you want to. Baby, you're not alive. You think life is about having fun? Who told you that? Why? But you realize if you think life is about having fun, you let somebody convince you to have a childlike mentality. Children want to have fun. See, listen, I'm not saying you can't have fun. I said, if you think life is about having fun, you're still a child. That's a child's mentality. Ain't no grown man supposed to think like that. And that's why people don't build nothing and don't get nothing accomplished, because you think life is about having fun. You 35 years old looking to have fun on every cutting corner. How you going to build something substantial and set up and guide young men to be able to do something, but all you want to do, I need to have you some fun. Nigga, what? You can't do nothing when your mind is enraptured with having fun. And that's what a text means by the woman's hearts like snares and nets. Because women like to have fun, and they'll get you sidetracked by trying to convince you to abandon your objectives, your vision, your plans, and your responsibilities so you can go have some fun. And if you don't believe me, there's a lot of men, whether they're in the word or not, and they can tell you that they set themselves back because they let a woman convince them that they should abdicate their responsibilities to go have some fun, and they regret it. You know what I'm talking about? Because you'd rather have you a woman that say, no. You know what you need to do. She's not going to convince you to abandon what you're supposed to do to come have fun with her. Not if she fool with you. Now, if she don't fool with you, she don't give a damn. You know what wicked women do? No, you supposed to be preaching the word. See, you spending too much time in that ministry. Yeah, that's what wicked women do. She gonna convince you not to serve God and do what he sent you to do. She gonna tell you, nah, see, you need to put me first. You need to put her out your house. Because I hate when people say YOLO, live it up. Boy, I ain't heard nobody say that in 10 years. Boy, people still say that?
YOLO? I ain't definitely heard that.
Boop, you done heard somebody say that?
So what?
YOLO.
Trying to be funny, yeah.
Oh, you used to be saying that?
Nah.
Yeah, you did. You see what you saw.
Nah, I just was trying to think, like, they'll be saying that?
No, I know what you mean, G. I just said that because I ain't heard that term used in a while.
You know
I
what?
think I was in my college days last time.
Look at you. I did. I told you she did. We did.
Nah, I didn't say me. I said we. When I think about saying YOLO, that was in a group setting. Like, yeah, we should do it.
So you let the group influence you.
Nah, we was all.
They was YOLO.
They was YOLO. If you believe in living it up to the fullest, depends what you define the fullest is. Most people define living to the fullest is pleasure seeking, having fun. Some people look at, depends on the individual. Some people look at living their life to the fullest by fulfilling their purpose. You know what I'm saying? Some people not like that. Some people are workaholics. Some people ain't. Like some people, like I get burnt out. Like we were just hearing this lady talk about this. I tell you, like most women don't want to grind all their life. Not all their life. You know what I'm saying? And I know this. I've been around too many of them to know. Man, there's very few women that want to grind and keep grinding even when she's 40, 50, 60 years old. Usually by the time they start to hit the mid-40s, she ready to stop. You know what I'm talking about? Because it ain't too many women who doing something that they really are passionate about doing. Most women have a job. Some have a career. Very few women have purpose. You know what I'm talking about? The way they could keep going. You know what I mean? That this is something that they do that this purpose drives them to get up every day and do what they do. Very few. Outside of being a mother, I'm talking about a job, a career, a vocation, a profession. Very few. Very few. They don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Men already know, man, you gonna have to, because most men ain't gonna hit their max earning potential till they hit their 40s. You know what I'm saying? And if you look this up, a woman's earning potential drops off precipitously when she hits her 40s because she's looking to get out the workforce at that time. She's like, well, I done put these 20 years in this here. I'm ready to stop. Most don't stop because they don't have an option to stop. They have to keep working. You know what I'm saying? This is not an option. Men know you're going to work till you're dead. There is no, you know what I'm saying? You can set yourself up to be retired, but even men who retire, they still doing something because most of them just, if you're driven that much to try to retire young, sitting around idly doing nothing is not going to work for you. It's just not going to work. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to do that. You're going to be dissatisfied. You know what I'm saying? And that dissatisfaction will start to get taken out on your family. You know what I'm saying? And that's when they be like, man, daddy need to go get something to do. Because if he don't do that, he going to turn into a drunk. Yeah, around here sad, looking stupid. That's why you hear about a lot of athletes when they retire. That's why they go down that road. Their life had been defined by this particular purpose, this particular discipline, this particular structure in their life, and it's gone. And it's gone when they're young, like in their early 30s. Most people don't play as long as Tom Brady in their 40s. That is not the average athlete's life. The average NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball player's career is 3.5 years. That's why they call the NFL not for long. You're not going to be here that long. Certain players are outliers that play that long. In general, most of them don't play that long. You know what I'm saying? And you talking about a young person they get disillusioned. What am I going to do? This is all I've ever done. This is all I know. Yeah, this is all I know. You know what I'm saying? I gotta have something to do. If a man is a man, he can't sit around doing nothing. It ain't necessarily got to be a large money-making venture, but a woman can sit around and do nothing and be satisfied. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to get up here and go do X, Y, Z. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to go out here and do it. Say my pops was in the league 2 years, immediately started coaching after that. Shalom, Brother Harrison, man. Yeah, man, you know, man, shoot, man. There's more players that don't stay long than those who do. Ain't no different with the word. The word ain't for long either, because more people walk away. More people don't stay around for long. Yeah, more people don't stay around for long. A lot of people that was whooping shit out. Yeah, them people left. When that thing get tight, I told you, man, people like it loose. They like loose cigarettes, loose booties, loose vaginas. You lose clothes, everything, they like it loose. They don't like it tight. It's restrictive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's why they get sport. Yeah, they definitely get sport therapy. That's on top. Come on, man, where we at with it?
Romans 6:1.
Go ahead.
Say, what shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound?
Should we continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid.
How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein?
If you dead to sin, how you living any longer in that? How is that possible? Come on.
Know you not that so many of us as immersed into Yahushua HaMashiach were immersed into his death. Therefore, we are buried with him by immersion into death, that like as Mashiach was raised from the dead by the esteem of the Abba, even so we also shall walk in newness of life.
That's right.
For if we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, we shall be also in his resurrection, knowing this, that our old man is crucified with, that the body of sin might be destroyed.
That the body of sin might be what?
Destroyed.
Well, you're supposed to put that to death, cuz. Come on.
That henceforth we should not serve sin.
So we should not serve what?
Sin.
Not serve what?
Sin.
My God, today.
He that is dead is freed from sin.
He that is dead is what?
Is free from sin.
See how you free among the dead? He that is dead is free from sin. When you're free from sin, you're free from death. Verse 16. What do you say? Say that's what happened to LeBron. Now it's going to be tough for him to let go because that's all. But see, LeBron doesn't set himself up to slide out the way because he got that production company. He got all this other stuff to where when he retired, he can get out the way. I think the only thing that might mess with him is that he won't have all that attention on him no more because it's quite obvious that he's an attention whore. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying that out of disrespect. I'm saying that out of a pattern of watching this man play in the NBA since 2003. Some people love that attention. Remember what Mekhi Phifer said and Paid in Full? He said, but when I quit, will they still cheer for me? For a lot of athletes, man, entertainers and all that, man, that'd be the hardest part. Is not the people they're not chanting your name no more. You know what I'm saying? You know how probably hard it was for Hulk Hogan to quit wrestling and hearing other people talking about Hogan, because this man feeds off of that. This man is damn near 70 years old and still lives the gimmick. Ric Flair ain't no different. He became Ric Flair. That man's name is Richard Fleer. He became Ric Flair. Like after he got out the ring. Like nobody could make the difference between Richard and Rick because he became that. Because that adulation and that praise, why you think some of these dudes in the word be acting the way they be acting? Man, people be, fame is an intoxicating drug. Praise is an intoxicating drug. That's why he told, at least with the women, that, beauty, favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. All that praise with people telling you how beautiful you are and this, that, there, and the third, man, that junk goes straight to your brain, man. That junk is destructive. You see how we segue that? 1 Peter 3:1. That's what they call on television a good segue.
Likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husband.
To your own husband. Listen, as a woman, you only supposed to be in subjection to two people, your daddy and your husband. Now, if your daddy dead, it's whatever male is the head of your family. But that's if you still in your family. See, because this is the thing, right? Because a lot of rules talk about this here, right? If you pay a bride price for a woman who's not a virgin, who don't live in her daddy's house, you's a fool. You know what I'm talking about? Because there's no way in the world that I'm going to pay a bride price and you've been out here living on your own, under no masculine authority. I'm not paying for that. Is you crazy? I done had conversations with people like, but it's also okay, want to live the word. You only want to live the word when it benefits you. You're paying a bride price to secure purity. Absolutely, Sister Kelly. You have to. Because that fame's something else. And that lust for attention is something else. And usually people who get built up, like Sister Kelly talking about, is usually somebody who already had low self-esteem and was seeking outside validation to begin with. Now, some of them, it feeds their pride, and it can create a monster. You know what I'm saying? But that's another story for another day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you paid a dowry because this woman was in her father's house and she was a virgin. If this woman been living on her own for 6-7 years, she's not even coming from her father's house to your house. That means she's been living XYZ. That doesn't mean that she's a horrible person. That means she may not know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? She may not know how to be in subjection to a man. She's been living on her own. See, we was having this conversation with a dude, and he was like, is a career woman the right type of woman? I'm like, bro, a corporate career woman is what they reference. And he talking about she knows. I'm like, bro, why would you go to a corporate career woman and try to make her be a housewife? Did you ask her if she wanted to be a housewife? Because if you wanted a housewife, don't marry a corporate career woman, bro. That's not what she want to do. She probably don't even know how to do it. She trained to go. You know what I'm talking about? So that means if she trained to go and she want to make money so bad, then let her make it. Just make sure she kicked down. That's it. Because there's no way in the world that you're going to make all the bills and you let this woman keep all her bread. You's an idiot. Why would you do that? Don't let people know. That's what a real man would do. Says who? That's what a real dummy would do. Because if she got a problem with kicking down, she don't fool with you no way. We ain't talking about gorilla pimping and saying, hey, man, you made 1,000, it's all mine. Well, that's not gorilla pimping, that's regular pimping. But you know what I'm saying? But, no, man, but you should have enough say, if I got a stack, let me shoot my nigga 300. Because I'm not paying for nothing. If that woman had a problem with that, she don't fool with you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you notice that, I'm glad she mentioned that. Jose and Gomer is pointing to the Lord, what he did with her. Because he paid for a woman who was beloved of a friend, who loved commit adultery and loved flagons of wine, so you can see how much Yahuwah loved us. That's a whole different conversation. Because ain't no man in the flesh paying nothing for no whore. Ain't no man in the flesh doing that. But he did that for us, though. I'm glad she mentioned that because that's going to tie into dwelling with your wife according to knowledge. Run that Jose 3-1. We appreciate you, Sister Kelly. I appreciate you for that. I ain't have it worked in, but that's why I don't mind y'all mentioning stuff or asking. That's why I encourage that. Because you might have something come to mind, don't come to my mind. It can be relevant.
Then say who unto me go yet love a woman beloved of friend.
Beloved of a friend.
Yet in adulterers.
Oh, no, who?
In adulterers, according to the love of Yahuwah.
According to the love of Yahuwah. According to the who?
To the children of Yasharal.
Listen what he say he finna do.
Who look to other gods and love flagons of wine.
You look to other gods and you love to get drunk.
So I brought her to me 15 of silver and for an omer of barley and a half omer of barley.
He paid a price for a prostitute, a harlot. And guess what y'all did? He paid a price for a prostitute, a harlot, with his blood. See, Jose, which is the shortened version, which is what Yahushua son of Nun name would change from, which is shortened for salvation. This is literally what your God did. He bought to him a harlot. Read it again from the top.
Then said Yahuwah unto me, go yet, love a woman beloved of her friend, yet adulterers, according to the love of Yahuwah toward the children of Yasharal.
What man you know gonna do that? Who got it in his right mind? Who's an honorable man? Who has standards in his life? Let's get all this stuff that you think about in America and let's be real with ourselves, man. What man you know gonna willfully go marry a whore? And when I say whore, I'm talking about an adulteress, a woman who prefers other men than her husband, and you know it. Who gonna do that? Ain't no man in his right mind gonna do that. You know who gonna do that? A man who don't love himself. I'm talking about his self-esteem, but that's a man don't love himself. You know another type of man do that? You know this woman got 4 kids, 6 kids, 7 kids, and you be like, you know what? I'm gonna love her and these kids. That nigga don't love himself. I can't do this. I'm talking about you ain't got no kids. 7 kids, a lot of kids talking about come in like, nigga, you go from 0 to 7? You don't love yourself, man. There's no way in the world you love yourself. Man, we got a homeboy right now. He look at women. This nigga ain't got no kids. He be getting with women who got kids talking about eat my jits. What's wrong with you? His mama was, it wasn't good. That's all I can say.
That's why I asked.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Yeah. It wasn't normal. It wasn't a normal situation. He said, I did, but I got mine out the back end. Look at, I'm not knocking nobody for doing, because sometimes when you do that, you don't realize that you don't love yourself. And you don't realize that your self-esteem is really low. Until you get caught up in it and you get drugged and then you realize, oh, I ain't really love myself like I was supposed to. I ain't never supposed to got into this. And you know how you know that people will start to realize that? Because you start to come up with reasons to justify doing it. Because you're not really trying to convince who you're talking to. You're trying to convince yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, four offspring come. See, it's not even the fact that she had 4. If they was all from the same dude. You know what I'm talking about? You coming in, she 4 for 4 like Wendy's. You know what I'm talking about? I told you I knew a lady that had 9 kids from 9 different dudes, bro. And dudes steady like ain't nowhere in the world. I'm not making this up. We can say learning self-love is hard. It's hard when you don't come from that environment. It is very difficult to learn how to love yourself if you don't come from a loving environment. That is absolute. See, self-love is not hard. It's hard when you don't come from that environment. So you don't have the confidence in yourself and the foundation to even begin to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because self-love in itself is not difficult. See, we ain't talking about this stupid stuff these people talking about. Self-love, go get a spa day. No, you went to go to the spa because that's what you wanted to do. That don't mean you love yourself. I don't even know why people be saying that. I'm going to get some self-love today. I'm going to get my nails done. Self-love, I'm going to the gym.
Self-care.
That ain't no care. You doing that because you don't need to get your nails done. And you don't need to go to the spa to care for yourself. You can care for yourself at the house. You know what I'm saying? This is something that you like to do for leisure, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm only saying that because this is how society has trained you to think so you can go be a consumer. You know what I'm saying? What I'm telling you? But there's nothing wrong if you want to go to the spa and let them people give you a facial and all. That means, hey, sometimes I got disposable income, hopefully. I want to go get pampered. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But that don't mean you care about yourself. Because you could go to that spa day and do all that stuff and then come home to a nigga who slapped you dead in your mouth. You know what I'm talking about? You can go do that spa day and come home to a nigga who called you everything but a lady. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It cuss you out. Not even try. No, you thinking beep, 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 beep. But you can't for yourself because you let somebody put a mask on your face with some cucumbers on your eye. Baby, you don't care about yourself. Because if you did, you wouldn't be fooling with this nigga. You went to the spa and you know this man caught a venereal disease and he ain't get it from you. Because he around here dipping his Dunkin' stick in every cup of milk he see. But you care for yourself because you went and got your nails done. No, baby, you don't love yourself. You know what I'm saying? You don't love yourself. But you trying to tell yourself this to cope with the fact that you don't love yourself. And we know this because look at how you allow people. Shoot, it could be your family. You could come around to your mama, your fat whore. Dang, mama, why you call me all that? Yeah, man, we got to go past that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That boy say 4 for 4 with a strawberry lemonade. Said Dibian was a father. Did Jose give it? It don't say that he gave the dowry to her father, Sister Kelly, but I think it's insinuated. I had a question of different types of sin. This I got you, my G. We told Buddy that earlier, man. I actually found the Most High while I was with her, and her son, who became my son, was the reason I even made a family with her. She wanted the world, though, like Lot wife. She was destroyed. Look here, I'm not knocking nobody. If you want to, let's say, man, if she got 1 child, that's cool. 2, I can understand. 3, you pushing it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a lot if you don't have any children. And it's a lot if they not from the same dude. You know what I'm saying? That's the main point. If you met a woman and she had 3, 4 kids, but she said they from my husband, you know, whatever the case may be, okay, then you need to investigate why that didn't keep on going. But when you're talking about 3 kids from 3 different dudes, 4 kids from 4 different dudes, and all this type of stuff, you're supposed to be paying attention to this is someone who clearly doesn't love themselves because they're going from person to person and having all. See, we're not even talking about the aspect of being a whore. This is evidence that possibly this person doesn't value themselves in the proper fashion. Now, do you want to join yourself to that? Because this person don't value themselves, they're probably not raising their children to value themselves. Then you have to deal with the men that she didn't have these children from. These men may not value themselves. Why are you putting yourself in a situation of negativity and toxicity that could bubble over like a nuclear reactor? That's what you're looking at. See, we're not looking at all the gender war stuff that people talking about. You're inserting yourself in a very combustible situation. Normal women don't go out here and have children from a slew of different men. It's just a given. We is not going to just put that on our women and just say our women just jump. Is it a lot of women who've done it? Sure. Are they the majority? Probably not. I don't know the numbers on it, but I put money on it to say that that's not the reality, that most of our women have children from 3, 4 different dudes. You know what I'm talking about? Because I don't think any little girl grows up with the thought process, I'm going to have kids from 3, 4 different dudes. You know what I'm talking about? So you have to look at, absolutely, Sister Kelly, it's low, so you have to look at that. You have to dig deeper than, well, I like her. You have to go further than that because you're trying to enjoy your life to something. Do you understand who you joining your life to? Just because you like the roundness of her posterior?
That's your flesh.
That's your flesh, and you can't go by that. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about being an adult and making wise decisions on who you bring into your life. Not thinking with your loins. He said, I'm still trying to learn how to, and I understand. And like I said, if you don't come from an environment that is loving, then it is very difficult. You know what I'm saying? The art of loving yourself is not difficult. The difficulty comes in if you came from that environment or not, because you don't know how to do it. You don't know where to start. You know what I'm saying? Because if your people didn't love you, if your people love you, then you're going to love yourself. You know what I'm saying? You know why? Because love comes from confidence, and confidence builds self-love and self-validation and self-esteem. And you come from an unloving environment, then you begin to question yourself in a multitude of different areas. And that's how you allow mistreatment, or you allow people in your life that shouldn't be in your life, or you invest quality time in people in places that you didn't even need to be. Do you know what I'm saying? because you feel like you should be there because nobody cares what's going to happen to you anyway. So you don't care about yourself. Boy, a nigga who don't love himself, well, that's a dangerous man. I'm telling you, that's a dangerous man. In a multitude of different ways. Because he don't care. You know what I'm saying? See, a woman who don't love herself is dangerous, but not at the same level of danger. Because she's not going to care who life she destroys. She don't care if she destroy her own life. She don't care if she destroy her kids' life. She don't care. She's going to use whatever pleasure that she can interact in to cover up the pain that she got going on. You know what I'm saying? That could be sex. That could be alcohol. That could be drugs. That could be whatever. It could be food. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay attention to all that type of stuff, man. You can't be walking around here as a grown adult just, well, she looks good. Well, he's fine. Come on, man. We're not in high school. You're grown. You know what I'm saying? You got to think like an adult. Man, that's a serious situation, man. Come on with it, man.
So then says Yahuwah unto me, go yet love a woman beloved of her friend, yet adulteress, according to the love of Yahuwah toward the children of Yasharal.
Children of Yasharal.
Who look to other gods and love flagons of wine.
Flagons of wine.
So I bought her to me for 15 of silver, and an omer of barley, and a half omer of barley. And I said unto her, you shall abide for me many days. Many days. You shall not play the harlot. You shall not be for another man.
You will not play the harlot. You will not be for another man.
So I also for you, the children of Yasharal shall abide many days.
Listen, that man say when he bought her to him, you for me and I'm for you. You know what I'm saying? That's what Mashiach did. When he paid that price with that blood, you mine now. Because we can read Ezekiel 18 when he said you contrary to other whores, because they give gifts to whores, but you give all your gifts to all your lovers and get nothing in return. You are contrary. You are that whore. Gomer is you. That's you. And that's why I mentioned that earlier. Most men naturally are not going to do that. And when I say naturally, meaning the men that you want. You understand? Yeah, there's men who will do it, but they're not the men that generally you want. Which is why you hear the stuff you hear on the internet about these men, because the men that women won't select them based off of that conduct, but your God would. Because see, that whore he talking about, that ain't no natural woman. That's you men. Because you went the horn from under your God and committing adultery, messing with Buddha, messing with Allah, messing with Zoroaster, messing with Dionysus, messing with Tammuz, going over there being a lesbian with Ashtaroth, going around there being a lesbian, messing with Kali. You know what I'm talking about? You was doing all of that. See, you're not going to put that on the women. That woman is you. You did that. And that man paid that price. You understand? He paid that price. And he said, you're going to be for me and I'm going to be for you so that you can know the love that he had for his people. See, that's a mean parable to play out. You know what I'm saying? See, if he had man marry her, and notice that this man didn't object, fuss, or fight. You don't know if that man wanted to do that. But it wasn't the fact if he wanted to do it. If Yahuwah wanted him to do it, then he wanted to do it. See, most people don't have that mind. Most of y'all, if he would have told you go marry a whore, not me. I don't want her. You would have told God what you were going to do. When he told Ezekiel, don't cry for your wife, most of you, I'm going to cry. He told Isaiah to walk around butt naked, put my clothes on. When he told Jeremiah, don't pray for this people, don't take a wife from them. I'm going to marry me one. See, that's why they have a memorial and you don't. I'm not talking about a memorial in this book. I'm talking about a memorial in heaven because you don't care. You care more about doing what you want to do than what he wants you to do. And you don't even know if he's using you as an example to show forth his righteousness, his love, and his will, because that's what he did with Hosea. He wanted you to see how much he loved you. But you know, we're going to miss that because you're just going to look at a man marrying a prostitute. I didn't even want to say a prostitute, an adulteress. You know what I'm talking about? Come on back over that 1 Peter 3:1. Amen. It's bigger than that, man. You dig? It's bigger than that. Come on.
Likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives.
If your husband is an idiot, you win your husband by obeying the word. By the example that you set. Not you trying to correct him. Not you trying to throw no word at him. That's not what he told you to do. Read it again.
Likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives.
I just got a hell of a notification. They finna send Sissy Boy Cat Towns to the Knicks. That boy finna get all the wee-wees he can stand in New York City, boy. Y'all got him on every corner in Manhattan, don't you? They out there at the theater. Sidewalk sissies is what they call them.
Male prostitutes?
Possibly, but I was just talking about sodomites in general. Come on with it again.
Well,
No, I seen that. I just wanted to work that joke in. Clearly didn't land.
While they behold your conversation with fear, whose adorning let it not be the outward of plaiting the hair.
He said, let that adorning not be of the what?
Outward of plaiting the hair,
And what
of gold, or putting on of apparel.
But what should it be?
But the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible, of a meek and quiet ruach.
So for those who want to know, why is Peter talking about not ornaments of gold, apparel, and things of this sort? And Paul makes the same statement in 1 Timothy 2, because it goes to two things that are written in Isaiah the 3rd chapter and is written in Ezekiel 16, that he took all those things from the daughters of Yasharal. Now, when you read in Isaiah 3, he's referring to the women specifically. When you read Ezekiel 16, he's referring to the people as a whole. Because one thing about accoutrements and the absolutely like Abigail definitely moved with righteousness as it pertains to her husband, because it said Nabal is a fool and folly is with him. She didn't walk around feeling I gotta check him. Yahuwah never told no woman go check her husband. If you married to a nigga you need to check, then you shouldn't have married him then. Because this ain't like back then when your marriage got arranged. If you willfully joined yourself to a man that you need to check, baby, just take that L. Because that's on you. Because if you needed to check him after you got married, I mean, you needed to check him before you got married. And I don't even understand how women think that you're going to have a man of any manner of masculinity who's going to be like, yeah, check me. I'm talking about in tangible real life. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. I'm talking about where have you seen that in life that's effective? That's not the hallmark. Feminine women move a little bit differently with that. They're not going to go back and forth verbally with no dude. You know what I'm saying? They're just not going to do it. You know what a feminine woman going to do? Remove herself from his presence and let him feel the void of the lack of her femininity. That's what she's going to do. Feminine women too dainty to be sitting around here arguing with no dude. I'm not going to be arguing with this nigga. Especially if I know this nigga dumb. Well, especially now it's tough if you got a woman who's smarter than you. And I ain't even talking about smart as forth as intelligence and books and things of that nature. I'm talking about in life. You already scarred, baby, if you married to a nigga you smarter than. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about if you got the skill to move the shit better than him, why you even married this nigga? You set yourself up for a lifetime of frustration to marry an idiot. You already knew this nigga was stupid. You think niggas get stupid overnight? That nigga was stupid when you met him. But you know what? I like the way his shirt fit on him. He's so handsome. This nigga's dumb. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way a woman married dude, he wasn't working when you met him. Why you gonna marry a nigga who wasn't working when you met him? Now you think, yeah, my love, he gonna work now. That nigga still on the couch crashing his balls. You like to say, you need to get a job. He didn't have a job when you got him. What you thought was gonna change? He said, I heard men say they want a woman who will check them and keep them on the line. That man usually ain't no dude you want. See, there's a difference when you got an old lady who'll pull your coattails and hip you to some game. But you talking about coming to check him? Because you don't hear too many women say that works out well for them when they tell stories of them openly checking the dude. They usually get what? Resistance. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you wrong that you say you might be telling this man something wrong. Don't get it twisted. I'm saying, hey, you see this nigga doing something that's wrong, and you wrong because you can observe that. I'm not saying that the check is wrong. I'm telling you that the majority of the time it's not going to go how you think it. Because most dudes are not going to be receptive to that. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm telling you that this is life and everybody knows it. You know what I'm talking about? Now, you have some women who have the ability to check they do, but they do it in a different way. But Peter telling you how to do it how. He didn't even tell you to check nobody. He said if you want to win him to the word, meaning you married to a man who don't serve God for whatever reason. He didn't tell you to go run and hit him with some precepts. He told you be a chaste, godly woman and win him with that. He said win him without the what? Without the word. That means keep your mouth closed and let your life speak. Because if he married to you, he got to like y'all. Now imagine if you got an old square-head, hard-headed, old no good, dirty man in the house. As far as godliness is concerned, and you godly every day. Everything this man say for a godly woman to do, you do that. Not because you necessarily just trying to please him, because you're doing it as unto the Lord. Because whether you was righteous or unrighteous, baby, I do this for the Lord. Because what you do ain't got no bearing on what I do. That's the first thing you got to have. Stop letting other people be the harbinger and barometer of what your righteousness is going to be. That means you ain't got no righteousness in you. Because if you're righteous, you're going to be righteous regardless of what they do. Because Yahushua was righteous and you killed him. You called him all type of names. You slapped him upside his head. You plucked his beard out. He never let his righteousness change because you behaved ungodly. So why would you let some man dictate that? That means you're not godly then, baby. That's all. That means you're not godly, sir. That's all. Because why did this person behavior dictate your behavior? You doing it for God or you doing it for them? Because you're supposed to be doing it for God, not for them. You ain't supposed to be serving God to please this woman. You're supposed to be serving God to please your God. That's what people's problem is. I'm going to be godly for her. You should have been doing it for Yahuwah. That's not going to work. Because the minute you don't like her no more, you ain't going to want to be godly. The minute you don't like him no more, you're not going to want to be godly. Yeah, no, we don't do that. Yeah, but to get back to that, right? You read in Isaiah, because see, this is the thing with especially when he said this in Deuteronomy 32. You know what I'm saying? He said Yasharon waxed fat and what? Kicked. See, when you get concerned about how beautiful you are on the outside, it causes you to neglect what's on the inside. So though you may be, as he said with the scribes and Pharisees, remember he said they're like wetted sepulchres that look beautiful outwardly unto men, but inwardly are full of dead men's bones and all manner of uncleanliness. So you get so focused on the outside that the inside becomes underdeveloped. And that's why he said, hey, that inward man, which is incorruptible and of great price, that means more to him than how good you look on the outside. Because there's going to be a lot of beautiful women going to hell. Because I was telling the brother this the other day, the top level of attractive women, they're not going to come to the word. They're not going to come to the word because they're going to see it too restrictive on what it is that they want to do. You know what I'm saying? You have to, when I'm talking about the top, I'm talking about your models. The women that you would esteem to be so beautiful and so great, they're not going to come serve you. Because you got to understand something, right? And you'll hear dudes say this, right, who dealt with a lot of beautiful women, and they'll tell you that a lot of them, they never developed their personality because they never had to. You know what I'm saying? They never had to. Because there were so many dudes who wanted to be with them and talk to them that they didn't have to actually develop themselves inwardly. You know what I'm saying? It happens all the time. That boy say majority of them are ball busters. He ain't lied. We all done seen it. He said, lining up with reading earlier. That's right. Let your righteousness speak for you. That's all you got to do, baby. If you righteous, that's all you got to do. Let that talk for you. You ain't got to try to check this dude. Because Yahuwah going to check him. You know why? We finna read it because Peter finna tell you, man, if you doing your wife any kind of way, man, your prayer's going to be hindered, nigga. You got to learn sometimes that take a step back, let your righteousness speak for you, and let Yahuwah tighten him up. You know what I'm talking about? That's all you got to do. Yahuwah going to tighten him up. Well, you can't say you serve God and you married to this woman, you treating this woman any kind of way. We ain't talking about disagreements. I'm talking about you willfully doing this woman any kind of way, and you think God finna bless you. You a lie if you ever told one. Come on, man. What verse you in for, Pete? Matter of fact, because hold on, that made me think about that meme. That white dude kept talking about that, but it was so many people on the algorithm that John switched about what does it mean if my wife yell at me? And what if it mean if my husband yell at me? Now, a girl I went to school with, she had mentioned something like, and I understood completely what she was saying. I say, but it's more acceptable for men to be yelled at and to just be like, or it has to be his fault why this woman is behaving like this. You know what I'm saying? Because most dudes will get yelled at, get slapped, get hit. They're not gonna call the police. They're not gonna say nothing because it's not acceptable for them to do it. Now, of course, what she stated, which is accurate, is that men are more prone to violence than women are. I say, but I'm like, but a woman's violence gets swept under the rug. I'm only mentioning that because what said put in there about a lot of them being ball busters, because a lot more women are violent than is actually acknowledged. You know what I'm talking about? A lot more women are violent. I'm not saying they're violent at the level of men, because that just wouldn't be true. You know what I'm talking about? But a lot more women are violent than people care to acknowledge. Because dudes are not going to say nothing. He's not going to call the police on her. But it's a lot of men who know men who have a lot of stories about, yeah, bro, she done swung on me, bro. She be throwing stuff at me. She do this, she do that. And niggas look at him like, and you stay? And some people think that's normal because that's what they grew up watching. They thinking, nah, she just be tripping. Or they allow people to convince them that it's something that they're not doing that causes this woman to behave this way, instead of saying, no, this woman is deranged. Because that's usually the cop out. Well, it's something you doing that's making her act that way. No, it's not. This whole crazy. And I need to leave her alone. There's nothing that you can do to dictate to somebody yelling and screaming at you and acting like they ain't got no damn sense. You know what I'm talking about? That's not what you did. That's an inward problem with them. That's male or female. I don't care what nobody say. Somebody who's spazzing out and screaming and hollering and punching holes in the walls and doing all this old extra stuff, man, that ain't based off nothing you did. This person has a mental problem and they need help. Help you can't give them. You know what I'm saying? Find a card to a therapist and hand it to them. Or call them people on it. Because I guarantee you, if more women went to jail for acting like that, they'd stop. They'd stop. But dudes ain't gonna call the police on her. You know why? Because he's scared when the police get there, they're gonna take him to jail. So he just deal with it. Again, we're not talking about what's right or what's wrong or what you think life should be. We talking about what's happening. Because a lot of people take that when we mention certain things, that we talking about that this is our personal opinion. No, we talking about what go on in real life, and we all know it. You know what I'm saying about? You know some crazy women like that? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that we all know people who behave this way. We act like we don't know this stuff happen out here. We don't act like we don't know that it's women who check they dude and they tell them, well, of course, you would have these conversations with female, and they never tell a story where it was positive when she went and checked him. You know what I'm saying? It never went how she thought it was going to go in her mind. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong to tell you we know that. How many women you know ever told you they checked the dude and it was effective? Meaning that he out of pocket and you feel the need that I'm finna come correct him. I'm just talking about from your life experience. I'm not talking about whether you believe it's right or wrong, just whether it was you or whether from people you know that they told you, yeah, I went to correct this man and it went how I thought it should go or how I believed it should go. Absolutely. That's all I'm talking about. We talking about real life, not what we think. Well, what do you mean you telling them? Well, I ain't telling you to do nothing, baby. You want to check him, go check him. But if you know it ain't working, why would you keep doing something that ain't working? Because I just know most men, they not receptive to it. Now, why they not receptive to it, that's another conversation. You know what I'm talking about? We're not dealing out why they're not. It's just most are not going to take that. Especially if you're talking about correcting them with some word. Most dude, she ain't gonna listen to you. I ain't saying he right or wrong. I'm just telling you, he probably not gonna listen to you.
Like when you said check before, it did kind of sound broad, you know.
I'm talking about he out of pocket. You like, nah. You got some dudes like Sister Kelly say, hey man, they fool with their old lady like that. So if she come and tell her, hey man, woo, 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 you like, all right, cool, bet. My bad. You know what I'm saying? See, we're not talking about you did this and I didn't like it and it made me feel like this. You're expressing something like, hey, you did something this offended me. So I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about this nigga's wrong. I'm finna check him. You know what I'm talking about?
True.
Because see, it's different if somebody did something to you and that offended you, and then you brought that to them. I don't view that as you checking this man. I view that as, hey, that hurt my feelings, that offended me, and you bringing this because this could cause a fidget. This nigga just wrong, and you like, I'm gonna check him. He said something and it was incorrect. I'm gonna check. Because usually what happens in most men's mind, from my life experience, they take that as a mother-son dynamic and they're gonna resist it.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. Like, just women like, I'm gonna check him. You know?
Oh, I know a lot of them do it.
Nah, I know violent women.
Yeah, I ain't talking about the violence, because some women be violent and he ain't even wrong. She just crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, I know a lot of women who feel like, I'm gonna check this nigga.
I met a few. Unfortunately, they was from up north.
I can see that.
Or the Midwest.
A little bit more aggressive. Southern women don't necessarily, unless they ratchet, they usually don't tend to do that.
Yeah, I've seen some ratchet, but that's more of a, I'm gonna cuss him out, not check.
Yeah.
No, up north women definitely more aggressive.
Yeah, that's why I just said, like he said, like he told Abraham to listen to her.
But we know that women up north.
I mean, that's the common stereotype that you know, upper East Coast women are more aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Midwest women tend to be aggressive, and Southern women are not, unless they from the hood. You know what I'm saying? That's the stereotype. Whether it's true or not, you know, that can be debatable.
It's true.
From my experience, just for me moving from up north coming down here,
I know it's drastically different when you come down because Southern women are different.
I'm saying, you know, that term, Southern hospitality didn't come out of nowhere.
And that's just because Southern women are raised different and the environment is different. Like, you have to be aggressive living in New York City, male or female. There's nowhere around that. You know what I'm talking about? Unless you live a sheltered life, then you could get away with not being aggressive. If you have to walk through New York City and get on the subway and go around, you have no choice but to be aggressive. You will be eaten alive. You know what I'm saying? But I did notice this from the few women that I've known from up there, that as aggressive as they are some of the most sensitive women I have ever seen in my entire life. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Which tells me that aggressive exterior is nothing but a front based off of that environment, that you not really like that.
Well, yeah, they're not supposed to go with it.
Yeah, you're not really like that. You know what I'm saying? You're not really like that.
I've always been like,
He said, I done ate a few right hooks about them feelings. Whoa. I've been around ratchet all my life. My God, today, until the word. So I'm naturally nice. I learned aggression as a defense mechanism. My natural nature is more on the kind side of things. Abuse will do that to you, absolutely. And again, this is not to talk about, because one thing that we're going to deal with if you come around here, we're dealing with real life, not what we want life to be. Yeah, this is not to disparage nobody. We just know that this is the reality of the things that you may have experienced. Everybody's experiences is not the same. So you always welcome to share your experiences, because this is not a monolith. Like, it has to be like this. Because this ain't like, Bisha from Chicago. We know Chicago women, they're aggressive too. But their environment dictates that. You know what I'm talking about? He said New York people are aggressive and sensitive at the same time. Learn while being around them in the battle rapping. Absolutely. That's wild if somebody to be so aggressive yet so tender at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Like I said, like Omar say, being in Philly, them Philly chicks the same way. Aggressive is all out though. Sensitive. Because like I said, that environment dictates that you have to put on this hard exterior, but that's not who you really are.
Just be kind.
You know what I'm saying? But they don't live in a kind environment. That's why when they come down south, they be like, people really act like this? This is amazing. Nobody's going to rush me and cuss me out. People speak. This, that, and the third. And that's why a lot of them, when they get down here, it starts to dissipate and go away.
Which is funny because when I went to Georgia, I felt that way. I was like, this is so hospitable. Like, it was different.
Yeah, it's different.
In Florida.
You know what I'm saying? It's different. You know, Florida's a whole new world.
It's a whole new world. You're going to get a good mix.
Yeah, because see, Jacksonville is different now because you have a lot of transplants. Because people who are from here act like how Southern people are stereotypically just portrayed. You know what I'm saying? And then you got people who they come from up north and they bring that junk with them. You know what I'm saying? And we like, nigga, we don't do that down here. You know what I'm saying? What you got going on? You know what I'm talking about? But you have to know that, right? That doesn't, because again, we're not talking about somebody's wrong. But like I say, you just deal with up north women, they used to, I'm going to check this nigga. I'm going to tell this nigga, whole nigga, woo, 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 woo. And they think that that's normal. Because that's what they're accustomed to doing. But like I say, man, usually with that man, he's going to resist because he's thinking you talking to him like you his mother. And he's not going, y'all going to butt heads. Now, if this man know you on his team and you been riding with him, and you come and tell him, hey, baby, check this out. I don't know if you should do this. Woo, woo, woo. He probably going to listen to you. But it's going to be how your approach is based, how you come at him. You can't talk to a man any kind of way and think that he going to receive that just because you're right. You know what I'm saying? See, that's where your feminine skill come in at. Because you can be right and still be wrong because you're not going to be able to impart the information where the person can receive it and implement it. So what good was it being right? Did you want them to implement it and improve, or did you just want to prove that you were right? And most people just want to prove that they're right. That's not as a woman. You're not going to get the man you, because masculine men, they're not going to deal with that. A masculine man has no problem with his old lady pulling his coattail and putting him up on something or letting him know, hey, because like I said, him doing something to you that offends you, that's different. That's not checking them. That means a reconciliation. Hey, you hurt me. Or I felt disrespected. Or this, that, and the third, because we together. We got to be together. That's not checking somebody. That's letting them know, like, hey, that's an offense. And your woman should have the space to do that if it's a genuine offense. She should be able to speak freely. You know what I'm talking about? Now, she has to know that, hey, when he talking, you got to hold your peace, but she should be able to say, hey, woo, woo, woo. You shouldn't have no environment where that woman can't do that. Because, nigga, what you got going on? You know what I'm talking about? No, man, we don't do that. Again, I told you, man, you ought to lead with love, man. You lead with love, life easier that way. You know what I'm saying? Because then that person will know, I know this man loved me, so if he did that, I know it couldn't have been out of malintent. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he didn't realize that was going to do X, Y, Z, but I know this person loves me. So I can come tell them this because I know that this person loves me. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with somebody you know they don't really, you wondering if they love you or not, you ain't really equipped to be able to go tell them X, Y, Z. You say, should a man always talk to a woman in a certain tone? I was raised with masculine women. So I developed energy to always talk to any woman the same. No, you can't talk to any woman the same. You have to talk to your woman, and that's individual. The one thing about, man, if you're dealing with some type of pimping, man, if you want that woman to do something, then you have to talk to her in the language that she understands and she, what's the word I'm looking for? Reacts to. Like you could talk to a hood chick, what's up, ho? Woo, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? Because she going, what's up, nigga? Because if you come there, hey, baby, how you doing? You're looking so great today. Who's this pussy nigga right here? This is how she going to respond. You know what I'm saying? You're not going, if you want to get the best out of that woman, you have to talk to that woman. You're going to have 10 women and none of them are the same. It's no different that, baby, if you did that with that man over there, you might not be able to do that with this man over here. You know what I'm saying? So you have to know your woman, man. See, you dealing with masculine women, your balls had been busted. Dealing with a bunch of masculine women is, I'd rather go to prison. What's the difference? That ain't no life to live right there. That's being in prison, except you can go outside when you want to. Man, shoot. Man, give me Proverbs 15:1, brother Omar put it. Nah, for real. He said he was raised with, man, can you imagine being in a family, your mama masculine, your auntie's masculine, your grandma's masculine, your cousin's masculine, this what you come around? Man, that's living in hell.
That's kind of my phone.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I'd be gone. I'm leaving here. I don't want to be around no women like that. I don't know what that's like.
Not sure my dad's side, but definitely my mom. So
look at man.
Mostly women.
My grandma was feminine. My mama definitely wasn't masculine. My auntie wasn't masculine. I'm like this here. They told me to avoid women like that and not engage. My mama told me that young. You don't fool no women like that. She around here think she gonna say she let not my son. They don't let that woman talk to you. What's wrong with you, boy? Yeah. My mama went on that. In case I can't stand the masculine woman. No, ain't no alpha female. That's just a disagreeable woman. That's what that is. That's what they call themselves to make themselves feel better. That's just a disagreeable woman. Yeah, like I said, that's why I'm with all that, man. My mama taught me that at a young age. Well, you can let that woman talk to you like you don't let no woman talk to you like that. Shoot, man, my big cousin told me, he said, man, you got to check a woman every time, man. Cousin told me, man, you check them he said, you don't let nothing slide. He said, because the minute you let it slide, she going to eat you alive. And my mama said the same thing, just in a different way. But Daddy ain't say too much about that. I don't think he gave it that. You know what I'm saying? He just like, man, whatever. I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, woman like that, you don't fool no woman like that, man. Your life going to be miserable. I ain't got no abhorrence to no masculine woman. I don't even want to have sex with one, much less time I be with her. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, while I learned that early, look at man, the risk of impregnating the wrong woman, I don't care how good she look. If her character and personality is so distasteful, I don't care how good she look, man, I don't want to have sex with you because that's going to validate you to think that behavior cool because somebody willing to knock you down. In your mind, you thinking, okay, yeah, these niggas like this. No, I don't like that. You can keep your vagina, baby. Get that to that nigga over there and let that be his problem. Because I don't want them problems. Because I smoke weed a lot. And you going to blow my high. You know what I'm saying? Y'all think I be lying when I tell you that, boy. In my 20s, boy, I cycled everything through. I smoke weed a lot. And she going to blow my high. You know what I'm saying? You going to blow my high? Stay over there. Because I'd rather, Mary Jane ain't never made me upset. Never. You ain't finna come over here and mess with my high hoe. Not for no vagina. I don't want that. Stay over there. I'm going to get high. I got my money. I got my weed. I'm going to keep that. Stay over there. Be his problem. I ain't saying this right. I'm just telling you that's how I thought when I was in my 20s, man. What you want me to do? That was my life at the time. Proverbs 15:1.
Say a soft answer, turn away wrath. But previous words stir up anger.
A soft answer do what?
Turn away wrath.
People don't consider that. Because you don't want to seem, I got to seem tough and seem strong. You want to get the objective accomplished or you care about how you proceed. He said, how do you handle aggressive women not familiar with you or out in the world? I don't. You know what I'm saying? If I ain't got to deal with you, I'm not. But if you want to know how to deal with them, it's exactly what we just read. A soft answer, turn away. Right? Have we had aggressive female customers? Yeah, it's a way to do them. But see, sometimes though, because we just had one not too long ago, but when they see you a man and you ain't really studying all that stuff, boy, they calm down quick. And I ain't even talking about, I don't know, aggressive, this, that, and the third. They just know that, baby, I'm not finna. No, I'm not. You're not. No, we ain't finna do all that. You ain't finna talk to me like that. You're not finna do that. I remember when I was working at KFC, man, dude pulled up to the drive-thru. He went to snapping. I said, hold up, cuz. You ain't finna talk to me like that, man. I ain't did none of you. He came, he said, I'm sorry, man. But wife take. I said, man, that's all good, bro. But you got to take that out on me, cuz I ain't did that to you. Yeah, don't do that, man. That's not cool. Because what if I was, you got it in the window and I decided to try to pull you through it? You know what I'm talking about? You gonna think I'm wrong. Talking to me like that, man. What's wrong with you? No, man, I ain't did none of you. I ain't did none of you, man. But yeah, you dealing with an aggressive, disrespectful, rude, belligerent, disciplinary problem. The best course of action is to give a soft answer and disengage as quickly as possible. But that's with anybody. That's even if you're dealing with an aggressive, you know what I'm saying, disrespectful disrespectful man, disengage as quickly as possible.
Follow peaceful.
Yeah, and get away from him. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to try to force interactions with disrespectful people. It's not going to work out well for you. Just disengage. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to realize when you got to walk away, and that some people don't deserve to be in your space. I don't care if they spend money with you, just keep your money. I don't even want it. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want it. Yeah, I'm good. My level of peace and comfortability is more important. So I'm just gonna slide. Yeah, disengage. Dealing with aggressive women, like what good is that's the same way as a woman. If you see this nigga's all angry and belligerent, baby, disengage. Don't try to engage with this nigga. Leave him alone. Get away from him before he get to the point that he do something to you because he can't control himself. So I have to remind people every day the same thing. Don't come talking saucy to me because you're dealing with the court. I'm trying to tell you, leave me alone. Brother Nate say no answer. Just let the words hang in the air. That's it. Because as a lady, you have to remember, like, man, look here, man. I know you think you're tough, but he's stronger than you. I just seen a video of a little boy couldn't have been no older than 12 doing an Oklahoma drill with his mama. If you don't know what an Oklahoma drill is, Google it. It's one of the it's a football drill that separate the men from the mice and the pit from the pools. He dropped his mom. And I know she had to have about 40, 50 pounds on him. This is a little boy. I'm talking about she came at him, Jit, bah! Jit didn't move. She went that way. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up and down. Like, yeah, man. Don't be around here getting belligerent, talking all that, because as tough as you think you is, boy, when that man punch you, you're going to be like, damn, he hit hard. You know what I'm saying? Don't let that heart in you think you that tough, man, to be out here. Because ain't no woman got no business tussling, fussing, fighting, arguing with no man. Yeah, you ain't got no business doing that, man.
She got hit.
Yeah, I don't care how tough you think you is, boy. That man going to remind you that you are a woman when he punch you in your mouth. You
can't even take the skinniest ones either. He's still stronger than you.
Still strong. He been tossing around.
Hey.
He said, I saw that. He said, Mom's was a tree. Yeah, she was, though. She was, though. You do got women boxers and UFC fighters, but they ain't fighting men.
You got that woman over she fought a man. You trying to turn to a woman?
Yeah, man.
Punched her in the face. I quit.
There's one thing if you a skilled fighter fighting women. What a 5'3", 145-pound woman gonna do with a 6'4", 235-pound man? Talking about square up, let's fight. What you gonna do with him? Now I know the average dude out here is looking like Larry Holmes, flabby and sick, so that's why you think you could take him.
Two women.
And he beat the brakes off them. I seen it. I seen it. Beat the brakes off them women, man. Big fat sloppy nigga. You know what I'm talking about? I just wouldn't recommend it. You know what I'm saying? She said, Mika said, that's why I just carry my 5. She said, I'm putting that iron on you. Hey, man.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. No, I wouldn't recommend no one because it's probably not going to work out well for you. You know what I'm saying? But you can do what you want to do. Come on, man. Back to third period. You can do what you want to do. Because I'll probably save the poverty angle for atonement. Because I was going to talk about them boys saying ejaculating made you a sinner, but I didn't care. Come on.
Look at verse 4.
1 Peter 3 and 4.
It says, but the hidden man of the heart and that which is not corruptible of a meek and quiet ruach, which is in the sight of Elohim of great price. For after this manner in the old time, the Kadash women also who trusted in Elohim.
See, those women who, them set-apart women in the old time who trusted God, that's how they behaved.
Adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord.
So I know a lot of brothers like to run that verse that y'all see, call me Lord. See, I ain't going to lie to you. If he got to tell you to call him Lord, he probably ain't one. It doesn't make reference that Abraham told Sarah to do that. She did that on her own volition. That means that's based off of Abraham's rulership in the household. You know what I'm talking about? Now, if your husband say, call me Lord, that's between you and your husband. Don't never call me. You want me to call him Lord. Well, did you call him? But that's all I got for you. I can't tell your husband what to do with you if it ain't no sin because you don't like it or you don't agree with it. That's not my business. I don't live with y'all. You know what I'm talking about? And I can't tell him what to do. You know what I mean? That just is what it is. That's not my place. I know a lot of brothers like to tell y'all that, and I know I reiterate that a lot, but that is not my place to dictate what nobody do in their house. You know what I'm saying? If he wants you to call him, you say, who calling their spouse Lord? Some women do. Some women in the word do. Some women in the word don't. I mean, shoot, you got people who out here calling their spouse daddy and calling their spouse mom. And mama and all that there in the third. That was normal. You got some women coming to the house, that's my king. That ain't no different than calling them Lord. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. Ain't no telling, shoot. People say all type of stuff when the doors closed. I ain't talking about no free stuff, man. I'm talking about in their house, and we don't know what they call them. Is it okay for them to call them a queen? I wouldn't call my wife no queen because I ain't no king. But you ain't wrong with that. There's no right or wrong with that, because whatever you call the person you with, that's between you and them. To be 100% honest with you. That boy say big daddy and big mama. That's definitely what people shoot. They do. And then they had a kid called. How you think your grandma got called big mama? That somebody was calling her that? Straight up and down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some of y'all like, we going to big mama house. Who you think started that? She either started it or her husband did. Some people literally call their granddaddy big daddy. The only reason why niggas be chuckling on it because you thinking of a sexual connotation to it. But in the South, people call their grandparents that all the time. Nobody thought nothing of it. You the big mama, you grandmama. Shoot, she bigger than your mama. That's big mama. Yeah, that's your daddy. Well, that's big daddy. That ain't no different than somebody senior and junior. That's big such and such. That's little such and such. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. If you call your wife queen, who am I to tell you? Why you call her queen? Shoot. Why do I care for her? I ain't married to her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Don't let nobody tell you you wrong, man, for calling your old lady whatever you want to call her, calling your man whatever you want to call him. Big mama, you don't know.
I actually thought about that in my head.
That's what I say that, but that's cool. Or you say you thought you were supposed to call them queen to big them up. Some men do that, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's speaking on people's personal relationships with whoever they with. And that's not my place to speak on that because everybody's relationship different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you just don't put them on no pedestal. If you need to big her up by calling her queen, she might have some issues that only a therapist can sort out. But if you just want to call her queen because that's what you want, like who's to say you wrong? Hey, and if you believe calling your old lady queen make her feel good, I ain't shoot. You got some women that be like, don't call me no queen. I ain't no queen. Nigga, we live in America. Where my throne at? You got some women who think like it's all depends, man, because that's y'all relationship. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one to tell people what to do in their relationship that's outside of the standards of godliness. You know what I'm talking about? So, yeah, because if I walked in here and he'd be like, there goes my king, what I'm going to tell her? Why you call that nigga a king for? You know what I'm saying? But now that would be a joke because I know you. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? But it's like to be like literally offended because you called your husband. Because I'm not going to ask you, he tell you to call you a king? See, that's dirty macking right there. That's some suck stuff. In my estimation. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might call each other all type of things when ain't nobody watching. You know what I'm talking about? That ain't none of my business. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't none of my business. I don't want to get into none of that. You know what I'm talking about? But all jokes aside, yeah. He said, Boston Cooper calling your granddad Papa is crazy. Shoot, a lot of people call he said, my grands used to call each other boss. He said, I hear people say Papa. That's regular down here, shoot. That's what he churned in here called their granddaddy. You know what I'm saying? Muffin on always called him Papa, and Joanne picked right up on it. She'd be like, I want to go to Papa's house. I'm not going to tell her what to call her granddaddy. That's her granddaddy. She call him what he wants. All I know is she be happy when to see him, and that's all that matters. To me, anyway. You know what I'm saying? They ain't no big deal. I'll probably be dead by the time I have some grandchildren, so I ain't got to worry about it. He said my dad used to knock on the door and say, "Who is it?" He said, "Oh, I feel you, Mick. I understand." You know what I'm saying? She said she missed him his head and heart there. Yeah, you know, it's all that type of stuff is personal. You know what I'm saying? That's personal stuff. The pet names or titles that you give to the people in your life, that's personal. No, I mean it is though, but some people do put their old lady on a pedestal by calling them queen and elevate. It all depends on the individual. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, how the nickname, that's personal. I don't get into that. You know what I'm talking about? Because I say I'm not married to that woman. So what I care what you call her. I ain't got to live with her. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I ain't got to live with her. I don't care enough. You know what I'm saying? I definitely don't be sitting around. I wonder what he called her. That's a miserable life. I don't care what you call your wife, as long as you don't call her a whore, prostitute, female dog, or anything of the sort, because then I'm going to check it. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, bro, what you got going on? Because don't talk to your lady like that. You tripping. Well, that's what she like for me to call her. But find something else to do while you're sitting in front of me. You want to talk to her like that? Do that at the house, cuz. I don't want to hear that. I know when dudes be talking, yeah, that's my hoe and all that type of stuff, man, because dudes talk like that. You talking about niggas in the street, they talk like that. They don't mean they think she a hoe. That's just how dudes talk. Dudes could be sitting out and be like, that's why I told you that one time it was a dude out here and he was out here. He said, my wife called me Mufasa. Y'all wow. He probably serious. No, I remember one time I told you, man, there was a dude out here, man, who used to roll with him. And dudes had called him out here lacking, looked like he was peeking and geeking. And when I seen him, that's how I tried him. We'll know what I'm talking about. I said, boy, you out here messing with them hoes, boy? See, I said that for a reason, because if it was a woman of respect who you really dealing with, you would check me. You'd be like, nah, she ain't no hoe, bro. Watch your mouth. Oh, he did it. I said, okay, yeah, he had to smash. You know what I'm saying? Because any man who with a woman seriously, who he holds with high regard and has love for and respect, he not going to let you call her no hoe. He ain't going to let you do that. That's why I say that way, because of this how I'm going to know what you're dealing with, what you got going on. That's the first thing. Watch your mouth now, man. I'm an old lady now. That's the first thing dude gonna say. That's an old lady now. I don't know, y'all don't use old lady up there with y'all. You know what I'm saying? People down south would be like, I don't want to be his girl or his wife. I want to be his old lady. They be like, niggas don't play by their old lady. I said, these are crazy, but that's how they believe that down here. Mm-hmm. That boy said that's diabolical. He said, I'm gonna pray for you, B. Yeah, definitely. No, seriously though. Women down south, you'll definitely hear women who from the south, oh, they'll tell you quick, oh, I want to be his old lady. He said, the niggas don't play by their old lady. They don't though. Nigga have a girlfriend, don't give a damn about her. He call her, that's his old lady. Well, that man gonna kill you, boy. Come on, man. Verse 5. Oh, that's the same way too. Like this here, if you hear a nigga down south, be like, oh, that's my people. Oh, he fool with her. See, y'all might not use that terminology down here. See, down here, we know if a dude really messing with a chick, he'd be like, oh, yeah, that's my people right there. Oh, that's his old lady. That ain't just his friend. He having relations with her. Go ahead.
Say, for after this manner, in the old time, Kadash women also who trusted in Elohim adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands. Mm-hmm. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters you are, as long as you do well and are not afraid with any amazement.
Don't be afraid, baby.
Likewise, you husbands dwell with according to knowledge.
Dwell with your wife according to what?
To knowledge.
Now, see, I'm going to set the framework for tomorrow afternoon, you who are willing, how we going to deal with that. Tell them what knowledge means. You say, yeah. People in Florida don't say gal or shorter. We don't talk about that.
That's gnosis. Knowledge signifies in general intelligence. Understanding.
This is knowledge or understanding. Now give me Jeremiah 9:23. Yeah, dudes will say that's some you say he's super country, some improper words. At least in Jacksonville anyway. But most of them gonna be like, that's my people, that's my old lady. And that's about it. You know what I'm saying? The nigga ain't gonna be like, that's my girlfriend. Street niggas gonna be like, that's my hoe. I ain't telling you no lie. They don't usually use a female dog. Even but that's my chick. But it's not a term of this. They're not gonna call her that. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm talking about in conversing with men, that's what they're gonna say. Say them names. Yeah. No. I mean, they're not gonna say, they ain't gonna walk up, what's up, ho? They ain't gonna do you like that unless you were a ratchet chick. Cause you're gonna respond to that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't get a square chick and talk to her like a hood chick. She gonna be like, this nigga's great. You know what I'm saying? And you're not gonna get the best out of her. You know what I'm talking about? She ain't gonna respond to that. Just like, being in New York, it's a certain type of attitude that New York women respond to. You come up here, you look so beautiful today, sister. I want to take you. She be like, look at this whole nigga right here. You know what I'm saying? In her mind, she already calculated how she finna get over on him. Who you think you talking to? This old sensitive nigga talking about do all this here. Yeah, you say you wanted to till the nigga approach you talking like that. You be like, this nigga soft. Finna get over on him.
Probably the first thing they'll ask them is where you from.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not used to it.
Yeah,
so you can't be from around here.
They already know you ain't from around here because they already know nigga from here ain't stepping to you like that. Ain't stepping to you like he talking to a man. That's wild that the men think they talking to a man when they talking to a woman in New York City. That's how rough. That's how you know, man, that ain't no place to raise no damn children. But everybody want to convince you this the greatest city on earth. Not how you niggas act. I want to get the hell from out of there. I don't even want to visit. I heard it stink. It stink. Dang. Come on.
You can see the pollution in the air.
That's what they say. Probably all that damn trash. Got 13. You got 13 million niggas throwing trash away every damn day. That's a lot of trash. And they just burning it. Dang, New York City must smell like out east. Yeah, they smell like out east. Out east smell like the chemical plant. Back in the day, there used to be a paper mill, man. That stench was terrible. It's gone now. Come on.
So thus saith Yahuwah, let not the wise esteem his wisdom, neither let the mighty esteem his might, let not the rich esteem his riches. But let him that esteem in this, that he understand and know me, that
What's
I
that?
Yahuwah, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness.
The exercise what?
Loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth.
One of the things, if you're going to dwell with your wife according to knowledge, you would need to know how to exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness with her. Jessica said it smelled like Lynn Turner. Dang! Woo! For those of y'all don't know, Lynn Turner is in Jacksonville. So she said that's what New York City smell like. I don't smell nothing when I be on Lynn Turner. But I know why she said smell like that on Lynn Turner. Because that chemical plant over there. That chemical plant over there.
Smell like Brunswick. You ever cross the bridge and have a Brunswick?
You heard it go to Brunswick.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. It's a chemical plant on Lynn Turner. It's a chemical plant on Cassie, but they don't really give off.
You're talking about maybe not the one on Lane.
No, well, I mean it's adjacent to Lane, but it's really all Cassie. It's really off there off Robert Street behind that McDonald's. You don't know it's a chemical plant. They make perfumes and makeup and fragrances.
Oh yeah, Revlon.
Yeah, Revlon. That's what it is. That Revlon over there. You know what I'm saying? But they don't really give off a bad odor like that. But that chemical plant, all them I met Glove at. You know what I'm saying? We used to clean over there. My cousin husband used to work. Don't give off a stench because it's adjacent to Lynn Turner. It's really in Brentwood. It's really closer to Pearl, Edgewood, and Tallulah. You know what I'm saying? That particular area. That's not strange. But if you coming down Lynn Turner, it's closer once you pass that Bono's, once you pass Gateway. And that don't give off a stench. And it's a chemical plant over there on Phoenix. Every time we go to Jimmy Hot, boy, smell terrible over this hole. Terrible. You know what I'm talking about? Exodus 34, man. We got to get off there. Exodus 34 and 6. This is the framework we're going to start. We're going to look at Yahuwah dwelling with Yasharal like that. And then Yahshua dwelling with us like that, taking us back to him marrying a whore so that you can see the love you have. You know what I'm saying? And then to know how to dwell with your wife according to knowledge. We talked about it several times in the past. No, it's not a new conversation. It's just us look at it from a different point of view. I think a couple of those videos where it's titled with that, they got lost in the sauce somewhere. But yeah, when you look at that passage of dwelling with your wife according to knowledge, you have to dwell with your wife according to the way that Yahuwah dwelt with his. That's what that means. Because he said, if you don't dwell with your according to knowledge, your prayers might be hindered because you're heirs of life together. We've discussed this before. Eve was going to inherit with Adam. You know what I'm talking about? It doesn't mean that she's taking dominion from Adam, but he gave him Eve and she was a co-heir with him. So when you look at that, you in the word and you with a woman, she's going to be a co-heir with you. We didn't read that verse, but I'm going to read it right now, though. He didn't read it total. I'm going to stop it. But right here, man, verse 7 of 1 Peter 3, right? You husbands dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. When you look at giving honor to the wife as unto the weaker vessel, it stems to the conversation that we were having, which is why I want to deal with it this way. Because we were talking about it versus you being a servant and not being a helpmeet. See, giving honor to the weaker vessel is not necessarily like we would just discuss giving her pet names, you know what I'm saying, or this, that, there, and the third. It's giving the same way that he gave honor to us being a weaker vessel. It's really facilitating what's in Ephesians 5. Husbands, love your wives as Mashiach loved his and gave his life for it. And looking at the actual scriptural representation of how Yahuwah dwelt with his wife. And you just follow that example. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead.
And Yahuwah passed by before him and proclaimed, Yahuwah, merciful and gracious.
So one of the ways to dwell with your wife according to knowledge is to dwell with mercy and grace, which we know that's loving kindness. He said, man, what man ever hated his own flesh? So for us to be the offspring of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who he made a covenant with, how could Yahuwah hate his own flesh? That's why brothers don't understand how Adam was willing to lay his life down for his wife, because she was flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. How could he hate his own flesh by saying, nah, oh, you wicked, I'm going to get me another one? That was literally his flesh. She literally came from him. Why would he? This is why Paul made that statement. No man yet ever hated his own flesh, because you're supposed to look at your wife as if she was of your own flesh. Same way you would look at your sister or your mother. It's just a different type of love, you understand? Go ahead.
Long suffering, abundant in goodness and truth, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving.
And I almost missed that question. Go ahead.
And forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin.
Now 10K asks, what's the difference? Sin is kata or kat, and that's an offense, a sin. Transgression is pesha, that is rebellion. And then iniquity is avon, and that is perversity or depravity. So when you commit iniquity, you're perverting the word for your own selfish motivation. When you're committing transgression, you're willfully rebelling against the word. And when you commit sin, you just went against the word. You know what I'm saying? You disobeyed it. These are three different things. That's why he enumerated that he forgives each one, because they're not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? They have the same result, but it's not the same mindset that leads, because being a sinner is you're an offender. You know what I'm saying? You might offend, but you're not rebelling. You have to, you willfully rebel. Nobody involuntarily rebels. Nobody unknowingly rebels. That's not rebellion. Rebellion is a conscious decision. Iniquity is I'm going to take what is right and pervert it to fit what I want. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say when people talk about unintentional sin, how are you unintentionally sinning? You know what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing. You know what I'm talking about? How many of you have unintentionally sinned? I don't think any of us have. I think all of us know that we put together that sin in our mind before we executed it. I ain't talking about you had a thought of sin and then you cast it down. I'm talking about you planned it out. And now have some people found themselves in a situation where you may have not went into it intending to sin, but you got tempted and you knew sin was out the door and he made an exit and you looked at the exit and said, I'm going to stay here. So you knew what you were doing. You know what I'm talking about? Because he's saying all manner of temptation, he make a way out. So there was an exit door. That's the mercy of God. He give you the exit door, and you like, yeah, you know, I want to leave, but I think I'm gonna stay here with Puffy and his baby. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I like it. I like to get oil. These ones like that Puffy was like this here. You say you need that thing oil down. That boy ready to oil it down. That boy was ready to oil down America. You know what his lawyer put out the other day? Man, Puffy say he had all that baby oil because he lived by Costco, so he was buying it in bulk. I'm not making this up. His lawyer really said that today. But let's stop right there, man. We'll pick up tomorrow, man. Hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. I appreciate y'all. I bless y'all the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Remember that tomorrow we had afternoon service, and then the service is at 8:30 p.m. No, that's fast from sundown to sundown. Saturday night to Sunday night. Amen, nigga. Food, no water. Affliction of the soul is what that is. And we'll be dealing with that more in depthly when we're dealing with the poverty aspect that we kind of talked about. Yes, sir, so people don't know that we talked about previously and work that in. And of course, if you know, like it's here, right, got to fast and all of that, that's their business. But peace, brother Ernie, man. But you afflicting your soul so that you understand that if you can deny the body what it wants, then you can deny what it needs. You can deny what. If you have the wherewithal, you need food and water, or you will die. You know what I'm saying? So if you can restrict the body by afflicting it, by having the self-control to not eat what you need and consume what you need for survival, then you can have the self-control to stop sinning. That's one of the aspects that most people don't talk about with atonement, with the fasting and the afflicting of the soul, because it just becomes ritualistic. That is correct, sir. Sundown to sundown. Sundown to sundown. You know what I'm saying? I will do this here, right? Because I told Misha that I would do this here. You who are willing, man, when we go out Sunday, I will open this clubhouse room so that those of you who are not physically here, so you don't feel like you just sitting around. Because if I can be what we're doing, whatever it is that we're doing, and you have questions or whatever, or any manner of word can be dispensed, then you're just not sitting around looking stupid in the face. We used to do a couple services on atonement, man, but it's just not feasible. So, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. But I can open that clubhouse room, though. That I can do. You know what I'm saying? So, there's that. I think I could put the link to it on the community tab on YouTube if you was like, hey, you want to do it. But that would mean you'd have to download that app on your phone. And you want to download that app on your phone, don't feel like you have to be compelled to do so, because niggas on Clubhouse are idiots, to say the least. I'm not even being funny or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is idiots. Because there was 3-4 different rooms today talking about can you live without sin, and they all descended into debates about law and not anything that could be fundamentally conveyed to a person that they could take it into their life to where they can overcome sin, because that's not what people want to do. That's not what people want to do. Live. Always remember, man, it's freedom in your God. Your God wants you free. He don't want you held in bondage to the lust of your flesh, the lust of your eyes, and the pride of life. The love of God sets you free. Some people believe that, some people don't. That's not my business. You know what I'm talking about? But I bless y'all the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Love y'all, you who are willing. To the next time.